Is it some devil that crawls inside of you?
And just like that, we're live. That was easy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, man.
It's a burn.
I needed that all day.
Burns are real good.
That burns real good. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dallas?
I'm super excited. I had to reschedule 3 podcasts this month. I'm happy to finally be doing one. That's not a knock on you. You were one of them. But so I feel good to be doing
you have
this.
questions for
me.
me.
I have questions. I wasn't just going to be like, so the fuck's going on? I could do that.
This is very professional.
You're damn right it is.
With your tangled cord.
Exactly. Here we go. Ruby Villalobos. Ramirez.
That's not how you say my last name.
How do you say it?
Villalobos.
Villalobos?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a Via.
Yeah.
No, so you don't pronounce the L. Well, my name's Dallas. The double L is different. So it's not the same. I am as vanilla as they come.
Very. Yeah, I can tell.
Why don't you go by your whole name?
I refuse.
Yeah, why? Tell me why.
Why?
Yeah.
No, I think it's a Mexican thing. You add the 2 last names.
So is it your mother and father's last names?
Yeah.
So they're always hyphenated? Is that why? Is that like a cultural thing? I've never understood that.
Yeah. Yeah, it just messed everything up for me in school, honestly.
Really?
Yeah,
Where you
because they in the roll call or whatever it was, it would shorten like my first name.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah.
And then they cut your name off and your identity is fractured and then they're like, oh, I'm Villalobos, and then they butcher it.
Yeah, and it was just the worst.
Yeah. Well, I was very, like I said, vanilla right in the middle. G is nice and centered in there. So I was thinking about that recently. People, I heard that people with like A names or like A last names or ABC, ones to the front of the line in roll call, they do better in life. It's like a power structure thing.
I believe it. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Everyone I've ever hated starts with A, B, and C.
Yeah. Ass, bitch.
You just barely made the cut.
Yeah.
Dallas.
Thank God. Well, you could still hate me. The night is young
true.
here. This podcast just began. Yeah, and I know V. I would hate that too. You're stuck at the fucking last one. I don't think, what is it? TUVWXYZ. I know.
Just losers.
Yeah,
honestly.
no one. I mean, you're stuck right in the middle. V can be cool though. There's a cool V name out there. I haven't heard it, but I'm sure it exists. And for the last name.
Oh, yeah.
Villalobos?
Yeah.
Works.
It's pretty cool.
It works for me. I actually go by Dallas Bronson anyways, so I get the power B, so there you go. It's towards the front of the line.
What's your middle name?
Guy.
That's your middle name? Okay.
That's about as much of a response as it deserves. I got nothing for you either. It's one letter from gay, and that was very easy to get called once you tell everyone in school your middle name's Guy. And let me tell you,
they weren't wrong.
Yeah, they were like, we can make fun of your first name, Dallas, Palace, Cowboys, Texas, Denver, whatever. I've heard them all. It is brutal. At least you have Ruby, which is a nice name, and Guy on top of that, and then Gardner. Wait till someone found out that Gardner is a occupation. It's on. Just got.
How'd you make it out alive?
I'm not sure. Well, I changed school so much. They never got to the really dark stuff.
Yeah.
That like it was all entry level, and I was like, okay, I've been here before. This isn't gonna hurt at all. It might have been it. So what do you do for a living?
I hate this question, so thank you for asking. I really appreciate it.
That's right. It's the power B in the name.
Yeah. I am a hairstylist. We are in my place of work.
Oh yeah, very
Yeah,
nice.
very
This is a very
nice.
nice place. I love salons and places. Is that what you'd call this place, a salon?
Yes.
Why do they call them a salon?
I don't know.
I don't know either, and I was trying to figure it out. I was reading about that boat fire that killed all those people off the Channel Islands
What?
in Santa Barbara. A couple of years ago, there was a fire on this boat for all these people that were doing like some expedition or tour to the Channel Islands, and it killed all these people. And one of the reasons the fire started was everyone had their like iPhones, cameras, iPads, everything plugged in to these outlets in the salon part of the boat. And it was, because I didn't know what a salon was, it was so hard not to picture a fucking hair salon in the middle of this boat with everyone's shit plugged in and burning them alive and sinking this boat while they slept. And maybe you would know because it's the name of the thing. So, thanks for nothing. How long you been a hairstylist?
Like 8 years.
8 years? You've actually styled my hair for a photo shoot here once.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I had long, disgusting
You had a
hair.
mullet.
I basically, you know
Yeah.
what? So many people told me I should do a mullet with it. I gotta tell you, I regret it now because mullets are everywhere and they look kind of cool. And I don't know. I feel like
the mustache and the Carhartt shirt. You're already there.
it's already there. I know I have the mustache, and then I would have had it. That's what I was gonna say. Is it would have completed the kit so much. I would have just looked like it would have looked like a costume. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was sitting there in my truck today, and I was like, I have like backwoods, and then I have like these coffee pouches that look like dip or chew, and like the Carhartt shirt, and my hair's greased back, and I have like cuffed pants and boots, and I was like, I did this. This is all my choices. I've made this happen. I am just a caricature of my actual self. So,
Does that happen to you often? It happens to me too, where I'm like just like driving and be like, "What? I did this I made all these choices. What is happening?"
Yeah, but like, do you feel you're like, oh, I was trying to be cool so well that it looks like I don't know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
It looks like I just copied something. That's what I was saying. I was like, you dress so cool. That's why I like wore my like good pants.
I appreciate your good pants.
Stocking.
Yeah.
It's the only good pair I have left. I don't even care for how they fit. They like need to shrink up or something. Pants are always a struggle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
But yeah, no, like I love the pattern on that and the jacket. Like you really do dress super well. And when you were at Baz's birthday, you and
Unnamed.
Unnamed.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine with me. Didn't work out. What happened?
I like to keep it a little mystery.
Oh, that's even better. Dressed so well and so nice, and I was just like, oh shit, I'm over here.
I was sweating the entire time.
I was sweating the entire time too. It sucked. I wore a big black shirt like an idiot. It was not like there definitely should be a shaded area there that everyone can commute. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're all under the little canopy.
Yeah.
It was hot.
It was pretty warm. But thank you. That's very nice.
What's it like to have friends that are so white they have a birthday party for their dog?
Stop. I love them. No, I love it because with my family, all there is like really loud music, tacos everywhere, and tequila. So absolute chaos.
Oh my God, I think I'm Mexican. That sounds amazing, honestly.
It's chaos.
You think it's chaos?
I always thought it was chaos growing up. Now I really appreciate it.
I feel kind of similar.
Yeah.
I didn't have like the fun cultural aspect to it because I am just like I said, vanilla white guy, but the components that my family bring, I'm really happy. There's a pool table, everyone's smoking, it's weed and cigarettes, and we're all drinking, and it's a good time. And there's like some early 2000s like cringy music playing. There's definitely going to be some Nickelback popping up. It's actually a lot of fun.
Those are my favorite kinds of parties, honestly.
Cornball white people parties.
Oh, I love it.
Well,
I love
it's the I don't know. My mom was a bartender, and everyone in my family's like an alcoholic. So it was just it's like as close to being at a bar without actually being at a bar. That's usually what the parties feel like.
I think I've started to surround myself with people who like. It's like when you watch a sitcom or a TV show and everyone is Like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, they're all lunatics, right?
Yeah.
They're all insane.
They're all exciting.
And sometimes I'll be like, at like my own parties or like families or like my close friends' families. I'm like, I love all these people. Everyone's insane.
Yeah, isn't that so weird?
But I love them.
I feel like I've arrived there too, where it's like, I need all the psychopaths. I need all the interesting people, because the boring people actually kind of suck. And those are the ones whose opinions are trying to bring me down. I need the lunatic that is going to tell me 10 stories and 7 of them are lies, and they're all going to be amazing, and I can't tell.
And they're telling them to you. You didn't even ask for them.
God, no. And then they're telling me about people that, like, I know who the fuck they're talking about, and that's brutal. That's all. And then I was there, and fucking Jocko and Eric were, and I was like, I don't know who these people. Stop. They like have this like this self-importance, and it's like this instilled familiarity. You're like, I have no idea. I never met these people. I hate these people. This story sucks. These stories stressing me out is what it's doing. I never want to meet Eric and Jocko.
And then you just keep drinking.
That's exactly it. It makes you keep drinking. And I wonder who did it to these people to make them keep drinking and arrive there. And then every once in a while, I'll find myself telling a story, and I'll go, they don't know who these people are. I fucked up.
Do you ever wonder when you'll get to the point where, like, you ever see old people and they can just do whatever the hell they want to do? And you're like, when do I get to do that?
Yeah, I do actually. I do, because there's certain people who just like they can order whatever they want, they can sit wherever they want, no one's fucking with them, no one's like I feel like someone's always about to kick my ass or something, or like I'm going to be like canceled, assaulted, removed, ticketed, arrested, or something. Like, I'm not a dangerous person, or I don't do dangerous things, but like, I'm also not a dangerous person. Don't worry, you're safe. Like,
I could see you getting canceled.
You canceled?
For sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I know. One of my friends, when I first started the podcast, he was like, you getting canceled would be like the best thing for your brand. And I was like, yeah, all right. I took that as like agency to just like say like crazy things, but that's dialed back a lot. I'm definitely, like, when it comes to the podcast and talking to people, it's actually so much more satisfying and like a good experience to like just connect with the person, where it's like I don't have to hopefully I don't have to like intercept your story with like some silly joke or like offensive thing that didn't need to be there in the first place. But thanks for telling me I could be canceled.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Please interject with anything that is going to get you canceled.
Okay.
I give you permission.
You give me permission? Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, I figured. I was like, you seem like a really cool person, first of all, to even be on this podcast, because the name is inherently like bad etiquette. Like, it's not because I want to do things that are stepping on people's toes, but kind of built-in excuse with the name. So let me get in some questions for you. Okay, so you've been a hairstylist for 8 years. Mm-hmm. What made you even want to do that?
My dad told me that it wasn't a real job.
Your dad told you it wasn't a real job?
He told me to get a real job, so then I did it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What? So not a very supportive.
I think it was, and maybe it's changed, and I think that's why I like stopped talking and trying to defend my like job. But I think there's like a need for it. I enjoy doing it, and yeah, I don't know. I wanted to go to photography school. I always wanted to live in San Francisco, and then I saw the price tag on it, and I didn't want to make my parents pay for like co-sign for an insane loan. Yeah. And so last minute I was just like, I'm not doing it. Okay. And then instead of just doing nothing, I signed up for a course. It was like 10 months. Mm-hmm. And then
that's a whole school year. That's a long course.
Yeah.
At least if you're not doing it like beyond that, just to have one course.
Right.
So you really got immersed in that. Did you have any like, were you playing with people's hair or playing with the idea essentially even before you took that course? Is that why you went that route?
Yeah. So I always liked it. I didn't know that it was like an actual, I mean, I did know it was a job, but I feel like people,
know it was like a career path or an occupation.
Correct. I think people look at it as a hobby instead of like a career, but it's like,
and I'm guilty of that too, where I've thought of it. I actually have a hairstylist friend who's really mad that you're on first.
Oh, really?
Because he's been cutting my hair all year, and it's been great. We've had this great friendship bud from it, and yeah, I told him last week that I was going to have you on, and he was like, "Fucking kidding me." I told him like the name of the salon, and he was like looking it up, and it was funny. So he's going to be a blast to have on in second place.
Oh, I'm excited to listen to it. Second place.
He's fine. He has a good sense of humor. But okay, so what makes a great work day, or at least a successful work day, being a hairstylist?
I don't know. I think
At least a day that doesn't end in you thinking that it was a wasted day at work, or maybe something that was unfulfilling.
I think the like similar to like how you talk to people and you just have conversations. I like having like just people who I enjoy talking to. They'll tell me about like, I don't know, sometimes I'll think about my day and I'm like, I literally just talk to people about shows. They let me do whatever I want. I enjoy my coworkers. They're really funny. I just eat all the time in the back room.
I kind of want to be a hairstylist right now. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Hell
it's like,
yeah.
it's not bad.
It is like there's some casualness to it.
Yeah.
You feel
yeah.
That's good. I like that. What about these people who come in that just step on toes, that are a bad customer, they're not doing, because like I said, essentially bad etiquette, that desire to want to conduct yourself in a good way. Who are the fuck ups? What are they doing when they come in and fuck up?
I think that if you come in on a power trip immediately,
Like
this is not going to work.
Big Karen energy. No one likes them.
No.
Not going to work.
And
Like they tell you how to do your job.
Oh, already no.
Yeah,
and you can
yuck.
just already tell on the get-go, like how they walk, how they...
Their arrogance. It's not confidence they're walking with.
Their
it's
names
arrogance.
usually start with an A, B, or C.
They already have it built in.
Sometimes a D.
It's the ass bitch connection.
Yeah, I mean, my theory is just like with anything, just come in and like be nice, and then it's all gonna work out.
Well, what are your favorite kind of customers then? Do they like? Is it the people who kind of come in and like lend you all the authority over it?
No, I mean, I like a little bit of a collaboration. Like, let me know what you want. The way I think about it is,
people are scared, and some people end up displeased or unhappy with the outcome, and what they could have done is actually spoken up.
Right.
And I did that at the beginning of the year. My hairstylist, he was doing my hair into something. I was like, yeah, I was giving him creative, agency to do something, and I wanted to see what he was going to do. And then he told me what he was going to do, and I was like, dude, I don't want that. You know what I mean? And it still came out great, and I'm glad I spoke up. And it, I think, was like crossing a line of communication that kind of strengthens that experience and that dynamic.
Yeah. So I think that's like the gray area with like having a creative job, because you obviously want the freedom to be able to do whatever you want, but it's nice to have like a little bit of restriction. It's kind of like starting out, like making a podcast, like you don't have a full studio or like all the equipment, but you figure it out. Or like having a band and you don't have like all the members or all of the best equipment. But if you think about like all of the bands that you liked early on, like what are their best albums? Their first ones.
The first ones when they fucking did it in the basement of their mom's house or something. It's great.
They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a record label. It sounds really shitty.
And it's
so good.
It's so authentic.
It's so good.
And you know that there's a authentic, organic desire.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really beautiful thing. And that's so true. A lot of my favorite music is the initial startups.
Yeah.
First EP, first album. It's very raw. It's like some of the truest forms of people.
Yeah.
And sometimes they lose that, and that sucks, but maybe they end up evolving into something that's also really exciting, dynamic, and that's always cool too. But there's no mistaking, especially when you're a teenager, especially when you're growing up, you have this youth and you're just started on any of these journeys. That's why kids like that music. That's why people who are beginning are, just parallel with it. I really love that, and I identify with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really, really good point to make.
You seem like you're really into punk rock.
Guilty as hell. Because when you said that, I was thinking of the Ramones' first album, Black Flag's first EP, and Black Sabbath, my favorite band, their first album.
Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely. Do you like punk rock?
Yeah, I really like the... I like what they stand for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It really is like, a lot of it was like, these people are sticking up for things they have no business sticking up for, and they don't fucking care what you think about it. And I really love that. And there's a lot of punk rock where it's like, I don't agree with that, but they kick ass at the music they make, and I love that. Like, I am a meat eater till the day I die. But there's some great bands that are fronted by vegans, and they have intense music, and I'm so thankful that I can't understand what they're saying because I wouldn't agree with it, but it sounds so damn good. There's this band that came out in the 90s, and they're not a band anymore. It's super small. They're like grindcore, real grimy punk, like power violence, and it just, their name's Anti-Schism.
Okay.
And they have these like super cool fucking songs that are just like in my DNA that I love. And when I read the lyrics, I go,
yeah.
What are some
song titles?
Yeah. What's that?
What are some song titles from Anti-Schism?
Man, I couldn't even remember, actually. It's been so long since I've actually listened to them, but that is the first thing I think of when I think of a punk rock band or song that I kind of, don't agree with. Or what's another one? Maybe Earth Crisis. That's one. And there's Dystopia. These are all hardcore punk bands, and they're very about the environment and about animals. Oh, there's a band called what is it? It is I can't think of the name right now, but it's on the tip of my tongue. But it's like a very brutal name, and I think they're kind of like more metal. Gosh, what is it? Fetus something maybe. It's a dark name. It's a twisted name, and I'm like, oh shit. Anyways, what are some of the things that they stand for that you really like? Really speak to you?
I feel like I kind of always wanted to be a punk kid, but that's because I was just like a teenager who was mad at everything, like all the other teenagers.
So you were normal?
Yeah. So it was just like, you're just mad at the world, and
it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. I think it's because we just get this giant dose of hormones that give us the power to exercise all those thoughts that were just kind of like bubbling up for the first time.
Yeah.
So we just zap them. I think that's why kids who do sports and everything end up a little like more healthy in like their minds when they're kind of being brought up and they're not doing those rebellious things, because they have these outlets that are like exhausting those hormones and all these things they're feeling for the first time, and they're being like kind of driven to discipline. And I was like anti-sports growing up, and I think I suffered for it because I had a lot of like coaches and PE teachers and people that were really, and like my dad and his friends would kind of wanted me to do sports, kind of push me, talk to me about it. And I was like, no fucking way. I want to listen to punk rock, eat pizza, get laid, go skate, fuck that shit. That's all I was like about.
Well, look at you now. You're just drinking whiskey, got backwoods in your car.
Hell yeah.
And doing a podcast in a hair salon.
Wow, life is a trip. I could run into traffic right now and be happy with the way things turned out, as long as I didn't get hit by a Nissan. Do you drive a Nissan?
I do. And that is offensive to me.
Good. I fucking hate Nissans, except you, as far as I know.
I don't drive a Nissan.
Oh, thank God. I was ready to shit on your existence. What is it about? Don't tell me what you drive yet. What is it about? Nissan drivers suck. They're all toxic people, except Kiana, one of my friends. She drives Nissan. I'll forgive her when she gets rid of that piece of shit. It is not okay. They're bad people, and there's something flawed, and that's all I have to say about that. I'll go.
What did they do to you?
What did they do to everyone? It's what they did to everyone. They're bad drivers. It's like it is literally the epitome of the person who like leaves fast food in their car and like they got like the cheapest piece of crap they could get, and then they like shined a turd. They polished the turd. That's what it is. That's what they did to me. Male and female, across the line, and whatever identities that are in between that people feel exist or don't.
What else do you feel really strongly about?
In-N-Out's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to get some In-N-Out before I came here.
What's your In-N-Out order?
I do 3 Flying Dutchmen, and I'll do a Coke, but I'll mix some root beer in there.
They'll do that for you?
No, I'll do it myself.
Oh, you go in?
Yeah, if I go through a drive-through, I'll just get like I'll get a Coke or a root beer. I'm not going to be like extra. Because I worked in a drive-through for a long time, and those bougie-ass people wanted the modifications and stuff in their drinks. I worked at Starbucks, too, so it was like the worst. Fuck those people. That shit sucks. I'm not trying to make their job any more difficult than it already is. People at In-N-Out are compensated pretty well, and they kick ass, and they're like Chick-fil-A. People love the Chick-fil-A employees.
Yeah.
They are amazing examples of people in this human race that I was not like growing up, and I barely am now.
Yeah.
But enough about me. What's something else you feel strongly about? Because you were very vague when I asked you what are those punk rock ideals you like. You were like, oh, just like what they...
Was I being vague?
I wanted more is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, I just like that they wanted to set things on fire, like literally and figuratively, and I thought that was so exciting to me.
What did you grow up in like a household where that was not the
I see
norm?
what you're doing. You're trying to dig deep right now.
What do you mean? This is a podcast.
Yes. So I was the youngest kid, a girl from like a Mexican family, so that is just
I don't know what that means.
wild.
Were you pregnant early? I don't understand what you're saying.
Rude. No. No, just like really strict.
Oh, they were strict.
Parents.
Okay.
I had 2 older brothers who I was scared of doing anything
You were
wrong.
scared of doing anything wrong?
Yeah.
Were they like heavy-handed like your parents? Were they kind of looking out for you?
Yeah, which is honestly really cool. I think a lot of people should have older brothers. Yeah, it was super helpful. I mean, I just like, I don't know. I didn't really like party or do anything too wild. But then I discovered music and I was like, oh my God, this is incredible.
What music did it for you? When did you discover it? What was the inception?
I think it was around like my junior high school, like freshman, like the 2000s. A lot of like bands like Interpol came out.
Oh, wow.
Who I loved.
That's cool. I wasn't expecting to hear Interpol from your mouth. That's cool.
No, I like loved that. I would listen to like the Smiths just because of my siblings. I would.
Morrissey's super popular in Latino communities. It's crazy.
Honestly, yeah.
I love that too because I didn't realize that, and it was like, oh, cool. I'm cool too. I can have something in common with everyone around me everywhere I go. I like that. A built-in like camaraderie with a different culture. That means a lot to boring white people. Let me tell you.
Yeah, what else? I don't know. I can't really remember. It was like a lot of Arctic Monkeys. They were coming out. I mean, not that that's punk, but it was when I was really getting into it.
Super cool.
It was like LimeWire was a thing.
Oh, really? Gosh, how old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, I guess that tracks, but I was doing a Pirate Bay, not LimeWire.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get LimeWire. I'm also very late and stupid with technology. It's this fucking tangled shit and not knowing if that's going to live or not. But continue.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember what I was listening to.
I know it's hard when you don't have the playlist because it was always just there cataloging itself and then you making it. That bums me out and stresses me out too because I had this laptop that I had thousands and pirated songs and I had everything I ever wanted to listen to and I miss it so badly. And in my head, like, I remember that. Yeah. That's my catalog. That's my music. That's my that's my baby, and it's gone. And
It
I know
sucks.
that I could remember most of it, but I'm always trying to go back to like the roots of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of like kickstarted everything, and then you just start discovering music, and then going to shows.
What was your first show?
Oh man, I don't even remember. I think I went. I honestly don't remember. I remember my first festival though, and that was like,
Oh, your first festival.
yeah, that was Outside Lands.
What's that? I've never been to
It
that.
was in San Francisco
Okay.
at Golden Gate Park. And it was
Oh.
like a 2-day festival. And I remember almost dying in like the crowd.
That's a festival, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hot and sweaty and
Did you see that
bad.
Netflix documentary on Woodstock 99?
Yes.
Dude.
I didn't know that even happened.
I know. No one talks about it. That shit was gnarly. It was gross as hell. I was like, maybe toxic masculinity does exist. What is
bad.
this? That shit was wild. I was not a fan of that. Glad I was 4 years old when that was happening.
Yeah, also, a lot of people love corn.
That was also a huge surprise. A lot of people were stoked on corn, and I thought those people only lived in Bakersfield, where corn's from. Turns out they were in New York too. Yeah. I love corn. I don't love corn, but like I am now an adult enough where I'm like, I could go listen to fucking corn. I could probably
You
like
seem
that.
like a corn guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill myself right now. Might be the most offensive thing anyone's ever told me on this podcast.
You're very welcome. But etiquette is over.
That sucks. I look like I seem like a corn guy.
You just seem like a well-rounded, musically educated guy. Like you could listen to blues and also corn.
I could. That's true.
Yeah.
And I'll agree with that. I just thought you meant like I looked like a guy who loved new metal or something. Because like when Limp Bizkit,
Oh yeah, who was also at Woodstock.
yeah, bad asshole. I don't even know where to begin because I didn't even know they were that big. I hated the name. What is it? An ED joke?
I just found out what that means.
ED or Limp Bizkit?
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
How weird.
It's insane.
That whole, but also like, how much pussy did this guy get being literally like a fucking sophomore joke name? Like, that's hilarious. I did it for the nookie. What the fuck?
What does that even mean?
He was just trying to get some strange, is what it means. That shit's wild. I don't get it. That makes me feel a lot better. I was like, maybe I'm not so bad. Maybe I'm quite, buttoned up around the edges here. This is quite a good show. They've got a quality, high-class show. There's things I say that aren't as bad as Limp Bizkit. That's kind of... So there is, like, a certain exposure you need.
Yeah.
It's good. Maybe it's a good thing. Okay. Right on. What was so Outside Lands, huh? Who was playing?
Cat Power was there.
Really?
The Strokes played one night.
Okay.
I don't even, I feel like my memory is really bad now. I blocked out all of high school. I have no idea what happened there.
It's kind of weird how I think it's not that you blocked it out like as like an inherent choice. I think brains catalog and recycle things and get rid of them, and they're kind of just a little deeper and more embedded, and it's not really like, oh, I was traumatized, so I hid it in the basement files. I think it's literally just your brain being like, it's not relevant information right now.
Yeah.
But last week's, appointments that I made are that type of thing where it's
Right.
like, it's just probably not operating on it. I'm sure if you sat down and you sat with it and focused, you could remember like, holy shit, junior year was not that great.
Yep.
What do you like to do in your free time?
Now that shows are kicking back up, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Really? That's cool. I didn't
Super
even know you were
excited.
like a big music person. That's cool.
Yeah, I loved it. I used to work in San Luis, like my first salon job, and I remember downtown SLO had the original Slow Brew location.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best.
It was the best. So literally on like a weekday, I would get off work.
I just got a headache remembering the pole in the middle of the
yes,
floor.
yes, 6:37, and used to be able to get into shows for like $5-6,
Dude.
And then I used to work their street team so that I could get
Into
free
shows
into
for
any
free.
show that I wanted for free.
What are some of the shows you saw? You got ones that stick out?
God, who did I see? I honestly would just like pop into like any random night
Random one. That's so cool.
and see like local bands. I knew nobody
Yeah.
in town, like in San Luis.
That's
really.
that's what I did when I lived in Lompoc, where it was like, it's just any of the bands here. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's just part of the, it's like, this is a scene and it's going to shows and it's like, I might not even like this music, but there's nothing better to do. And I don't want to be like everyone else who's on drugs.
Right.
And I'm going to go to the show. There's going to be people that are on those drugs. I won't even realize it yet.
Exactly.
But yeah. I'm glad I got exposed to music and shows that way. 'Cause there's a lot of drawbacks to it, but I think it's a really good thing to like build community and watch that expressing yourself is okay.
Oh yeah. No, it was so exciting. Like you'd go into a show and then you like end up watching like a mosh pit form, and I'd be like, what's happening? And I would always hear about them, but then they just
really?
happen, and then it's just wild. It's so fun. So that's like the part of like being in the sweaty building, getting beer spill on you, like someone might punch you in the face on accident because they're trying to punch someone behind you. And then
It's the most exciting thing to do.
it's the best.
when you're young, and it's usually like the consequences aren't so severe.
Yeah.
I got my tooth knocked out on like my second show ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The logo for my podcast now is
I was going
like,
to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's that show. That's me, 16 years old, with my tooth snapped in half from Zach Demarest, I don't remember his name, doing some silly hardcore dancing, spinning back fist bullshit into my face.
Was it worth it?
No. I definitely thought those people who did that like spinning dancing shit was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and still to this day still is, and I hate it.
Do you have a fake tooth?
I do. I have a
Can you take it out?
no, it's not like that. It's like
an
a
implant?
crown. So originally it just got snapped in half, and then they just put like a composite on it.
Oh, okay.
And then that one eventually broke, and then I went to a dentist, and my grandmother paid for this, which is one of the like if I had like 3 financial like godsends in the world, it's been like this tooth, my vehicle, and I'm waiting for the third anytime now. But it was like a 3D printed tooth, essentially. Like they printed this tooth in like this air conditioning unit next to me. It was fucking weird. And I gotta tell you, this guy was a bit of an asshole. He was pretty much of a perfectionist, and he made my tooth look pretty good. So it actually like upped my confidence and kind of got me in trouble because ladies started noticing me a lot more, and I was in a relationship, and it was not the best thing. But
Just because of your tooth?
I think so. Because of my confidence. They were like, hey, that gap's gone, and he's got a pretty good attitude lately. I think that's all that did it for these Nimrods.
I feel like if you had a half a tooth, that would attract a whole different lady crowd.
Yeah, they'd be ladies, but they'd be like those people who were not at the shows. They were doing drugs, and they were like, hey, I'm halfway there. He is just like me. We're missing teeth.
Perfect.
Yeah, so shows are picking back up. You like going out to shows. Do you have any hobbies or anything you have a lot of fun doing other than that?
I used to be really into, I need to get back into it, but taking photos, I think that's really fun.
Yeah,
I used to want to do it as a job. I realized I really don't want to do it as a job. And
What made you realize that?
I don't like shooting weddings. At
That's
all.
like what pays the bills. You got to go shoot the weddings, huh?
I can't.
That's kind of what I've noticed is like, it's one of the unfortunate drawbacks is like, oh, I'm going to make your perfect day so special. I'm going to take a picture. And then you got to put up with these bougie people or silly
it's
weddings.
just such a long day, and it's just not my jam.
Not your jam.
It really is not.
What do you like taking photos of anyways? Is there something that really just drove you to that?
I like doing, I think looking at like record albums too.
Yeah.
Is really cool. Like I like all the photos in those and in the sleeves.
Do you like of the bands or just like certain covers they make?
Of the bands, of like press photos they do, I think are really cool.
They're really cool. That's right. I saw something recently and I was like, oh, I want a picture like that. But it was like not something I could do with my phone. I need like a camera.
Right.
That is cool. I love taking pictures of a lot of things. I love getting like a nice gritty photo or a nice like uniquely lit photo. I'm really happy Instagram's a thing because there's a certain little bit of me that I get to exercise in taking photos, and I like that. Every once in a while, I'm like, I haven't posted anything in a while. I'm just gonna fucking post a like cool photo. Do you use any like apps on your phones? Phone?
I do. Yeah, I like the maybe I don't know. It's called Tezza.
I don't know that one.
It's just like a little girly app. But I don't know, it's just
apps.
fun like tinkering around with that. There's
TikTok.
one that's like I
like using Afterlight and CapCut's a good one. Fuji Film.
I like Fuji a lot.
I love that one. That one's great.
There's one that's pretty cool. I have to remember the name, but it's basically like a disposable camera.
Mm-hmm. That's Fuji.
So you
Fuji's
have
like
to, but you have to finish your roll before, and then on your phone it takes. So you get like, let's say 24 exposures on your phone, on the app, and then it takes like 3 days to develop.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's still.
Okay.
I mean, I still haven't finished a roll, but.
Right.
It's kind of like having a disposable, but on your phone.
I like that. It gives you something to yearn for.
It's a little bit like more precious.
It teases you a little bit. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people don't have patience for things like that. That's probably why I haven't heard
I think
of
that's
it.
a problem with youth these days.
What about with not youth? Do you think they're impatient too? You think everyone's kind of...
Everyone's a little impatient, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I'm impatient. I love that instant gratification, especially if like I have hobbies and I want something to like a tool or like something new, or it's like, I want that right now. Like I was shopping before this and I was like at an army surplus store because I wanted something to like get. And I was like, I have no money right now, but I really fucking want this. And it, impatient. I just had to like practice some and just gonna wait.
It's really difficult, yeah.
It's difficult. We live in such a nice society where it's like I can get whatever I want when I want it, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm spoiled rotten. Might be a bad thing. I think we need to go through like some turmoil. I think this place is too nice.
I think everyone needs to suffer now.
Suffering's
We've
really
decided,
important.
yeah.
Helps you appreciate the things that you weren't really being grateful for.
Yeah.
But then it also kind of be like, what about the stuff I was grateful for? Can I have that at least too? That's when suffering sucks. You're like, damn it, the good stuff, the good people. Why do they have to go? What did you want to be when you grew up, though? Like when you were a kid, was it photographer or hairstylist? Like what did you want to be when you were like a kiddo?
I remember wanting to be a teacher, which is super weird.
Isn't that weird? I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Just that? You just want to be a teacher?
Yeah, I wanted to be a teacher, and then I think that's basically all that I remember.
Correcting kids all day. No, it's
Get it right.
Go. Get out of here. Go. You're done.
Yeah, just that. And then I got into like photography, and then that was my whole thing for like years.
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
cool.
yeah.
But how old were you when you realized you can do more than just one thing?
I think I didn't learn that until a little bit later in life.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the internet helped a lot with that.
Yeah, so nice.
Now everyone's a million things.
Yeah, they're not just they're an Instagram model, but they're a photographer, but they're also an entrepreneur and all this stuff. Yeah.
Yep. I think I kind of like gave up wanting to do photography as a job, and so then I focused on being a hairstylist. And then at one point I was like, oh wait, I can do both.
and one might complement the other.
Right, exactly. Which was cool. And then now I feel like everyone has all of these side businesses and they like
Little hustles.
build furniture or like do all of these things.
It's true. It's also like some people I really admired were people who did a lot more or did multiple things. Like my hero for a long time was Henry Rollins. He was a punk singer and he spoke on stage, but he also is an actor, and then he would do this, and then he would just like constantly be doing more than one thing. And still to this day, like he has a very like kind of diverse work schedule, and I like having a lot of things to occupy the demons, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you like to do?
Like I love skateboarding. I've been skateboarding since I was 10 years old. It's been a huge part of my life. It's brought me to the music that I like. It's brought me to the people that I like. The people I was with last Sunday when I was at Ralph and Dwayne's and Bill's place. Met through skateboarding. Lifelong friends. Really awesome. That's super huge and important to me. I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That was kind of brought on from like my relationship with Kylie. She had worked at a boxing gym. This fucking fly will get Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I swear to God. And that is honestly like one of my absolute favorite things. I like to write jokes and pretend I'm a comedian and do little comedy shows in Lompoc.
Does your girlfriend think you're funny?
She wouldn't admit it, but yeah, she does.
She's really cool.
She's really funny too. Honestly, we had this class in college that we did together. It was a human sexuality. So as you can tell, I'm going to destroy this fly. Hold on. Fuck, I was so close. Anyways, as you could tell, human sexuality lends itself to lots of jokes. And I was a class clown even before I was in college. So when she sat next to me and she was saying those things quietly to myself, I just stole that fucking joke and I said it. And then I was the funny one. So I think that's one of the things we go back and argue about. I'm gonna break this whole mirror if I get it. I want to kill it though. I was just at my friend Jake's house. He has one of those salt guns. Have you seen those? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know anything about guns.
Okay, well that was my next hobby. We'll just skip that. It's this freaking like a pump action, and you put salt in it, and it kills flies.
Oh.
And he was looking for flies in his new place he moved into, and there wasn't really any. But it was a fun gun. So I went out front, and he has a truck out front, and there's 39 flies on it. So I went full John Wick on this shit. Just... And it was so fun to like pretend I did something fun with my life and was hunting something.
I love that.
Thanks. Thanks for letting me expand on that.
I've never heard of that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Do you have a photography account? Or anything? Do you share your photos?
It's just like my personal one.
Oh, you just do that with both?
Yeah.
That's good. I know. I just need to put all of the shit I do into one account. I have 3, and it is so stupid, and I hate darting back and forth between them.
What are your 3 accounts?
Well, there's the podcast one. Then there's the personal one, which I found out I wasn't following you on, but I followed you today.
Extremely rude. I almost canceled today because of it.
Yeah, I know. I was like... I think I'm going to have to reschedule a 4th podcast this month. This is brutal. Yeah, so there's that one, and then there's a drawing one, like an illustration one, where I just draw on napkins, and I've been doing that since I was probably like 15 or 16.
Okay.
And I just got a tattoo yesterday, and I was talking to the tattooer. She's an apprentice tattooer at a Fortified tattooer named Sarandon Vickery, and... It made me realize, like, I did not evolve the conversations we were having in the artwork around us. I didn't evolve as an artist, as an illustrator, and I just stuck to this one black ink styled pen and napkins and just crude drawings. And you know when someone's like trying to say something nice after you like diminish yourself a little bit, and she was like, "No, I feel like that's just like your style, though." And I was just like. Damn it! It was the style of like a dumb teenager. Just a dumb teenager that's now 27. That's how I feel. So, fucking drawings, man. I limited myself.
At what point do you think that like our past selves evolve with our
Current selves?
I still want to be like, maybe I feel like I'm 16, 17, like going to those shows, 18.
I know sometimes there'll be like a news story and it's like teenagers today, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I haven't been a teenager in like almost 10 years. Jesus, what? Shake it. Get out of there. What are you doing? I'm an adult now. That's how I feel. Like it happens to me all the time. People are talking about teenagers, and I was like, they were born in 2004. Are you shitting
so
me
weird,
in the
yeah.
ass right now? That makes no sense. Are you breaking the microphone again?
I think so.
Do you want to trade mics? We can trade mics.
No, is it still intact?
I don't know.
I just
Did
don't
you
wanna break your
fucking break it? Yeah, you're still going. I can still see your me talking over you.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. I'm used to it. Just a man talking over me.
Where do you think you're going to be in 10 years?
I hope that people know that I'm being sarcastic
About what?
through a lot of these comments that I'm saying.
Fuck them. If they don't know, they're too late to the podcast.
Yeah.
They got to go on into
the wrong
backlog.
crowd then.
Yeah. No, they'll find out the hard way or the normal way.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting question. Like, when are we going to like catch up with our current selves, like wisdom and age?
Yeah. But then would we be failing our like punk selves if we let that die?
You know, we might be, but there's a lot of people that have been failed for a greater good. And that greater good could be who you get to become and who you get to evolve as. I think there's a lot of indignance and silly standards I would hold myself to, like credibility, like punk credibility, that like, you know, not doing sports when I was younger, or not doing things, not really applying myself. And in lieu of that, I think I would much rather find out what chrysalis I can pop out of and become, you know, kind of like really blossom. And I think I'm learning that in my later 20s now, that like I want to push the envelope of like myself and see what limits can be reached and met, because I was doing myself a disservice growing up.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I hope so, because that's what I'm doing right now. And if I'd hate to hear that it's delusional. Find out it's a fucking waste of time, and I just need to stick to those ideals, those fundamentalisms.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I definitely wanted to be a pro skateboarder when I was younger. At one point, I wanted to be an Egyptologist. I was super into Egyptology, just archaeology, but centered around Egypt. And I don't even know what kind of spawned that, but it was a lot of fun, and I really liked the idea of... There's a biker gang walking by. I'm sorry, I was really distracted. They all are wearing cuts. It's the Molochs, the local biker gang.
I think
cool.
we should ask them to be on this podcast.
Do
you think they have bad etiquette?
I think they're absolute gentlemen, actually.
Okay.
I am honestly a little hurt that you would even believe that they'd have bad etiquette being in a biker gang. I used to want to be in a biker gang. Oh, that was
I'm just asking questions here.
That's fine. That's totally fine. I'm just asking questions too. What's the problem? Maybe they're assholes. Maybe they tie me up and gang rape me, and they make you hold the camera. Like a biker gang. Seriously, do you want to trade microphones? Do you want me to duct tape it? Is it falling out? It's totally fine, I swear.
I'm just making sure.
It's in, I swear. Say something.
Hello.
We're past that now.
Hi.
There we go.
Let me
It's
be.
working just fine. This whiskey's pretty
Dallas. You like it now?
good. I liked it before too.
You were talking shit about Bullet.
No, I wasn't. I said I really learned to like it. I wasn't talking shit about Bullet. This is a misrepresentation. Don't listen to her. I like it so much I have more of it gone than you. Don't beat son of a bitch. That girl has to have a Brazilian butt lift. But she got the discounted one where it's we only do it 3 inches instead of 10 inches to your thigh. Looked like she was looked like she had stole 2 giant macadamia nuts, shoved them in her pants. Anyways, back to questions here. We're doing a podcast, Alice. What was a normal weekend like growing up in this household?
In my household?
Yeah. You said you had these 2 older brothers that, looked out for you. You weren't doing crazy things. You weren't partying. And I assume your parents were also kind of similar to that. Your dad said, get a real job.
He said, get a real job. I don't know. Just like help out around the house. It wasn't very exciting. We'd like go on trips every once in a while. Again, like my memory is just so bad.
You think it's bad?
I think so.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
do you have like bad short-term memory?
No, I think
Did you block it? Maybe just
maybe I just blocked it.
Just maybe actually something did traumatize you and you just blocked out those memories.
I mean, what you did makes sense. Or I mean, what you said makes sense about like.
It's just functional.
Yeah, like just was.
Oh, I'm sure that's part of it. I don't remember all of 3rd and 4th grade or whatever, but I remember things that happened. Okay. Or you just don't want to tell me? You just don't want to actually have a podcast?
I'm literally just trying to think.
What was a weekend you remember? Like when I asked you that, what was a weekend you remember growing up? You said you went on trips sometimes. That's cool. Tell me about one of these trips.
I mean, we'd go to like visit family in like Colorado, like in the summer. So that was cool. It was a cool lesson in patience. For sure.
Being in a car that long with your family.
I mean, it's full 18 hours
that's
of driving, like no stopping.
I've done a 15-hour drive.
Awful.
Without stopping. That's not fun.
Yeah. So bad. So hot.
I know. And you're with people. You're stuck in the back of the car. Your brothers are farting on you and there's just like shitty music being played. You're like, oh my God, I would love to just be listening to some Arctic Monkeys right now.
Arctic Monkeys all the way.
A Limp Bizkit. You're fucking losing it.
Give me all the corn.
Yeah. You're playing I Spy and you're like, I spy an open window. I'm out of here. Jumping out.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm the youngest in my family too, so I can, kind of relate, but I don't think I was like pretty safe about a lot of things growing up and still am very like kind of, I feel engineered toward that. Like I was not a big partier. I don't go too crazy in public, especially. And I honestly didn't have a friendship or a relationship with my siblings, even though we were growing up in the same house. Until more recently, till a couple years ago. Do you still talk to your family and everything, and have like a relationship with your brothers?
Yeah, I think they have a good. They're able to kind of like push your buttons.
Family, yeah.
Yeah, they know the right thing to say to be like, dang it, like you just pissed me right off.
Yep.
Immediately in the first minute of being here. But like, it's fun.
Like, what's something they've said where minute one's a no-go?
I mean, they'll just be like, hey, cool haircut. And be like, the hell does that mean?
You have a cool haircut. Maybe they think it's a cool haircut.
They definitely don't mean it.
That's hurtful. These fuckers.
Just things like that. But like, you learn to appreciate it and love it. And they're supposed to, like twist your arm about things and like bring you back to reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't you hate that? Like, you feel like a normal, confident member of your life in society, and then you go home or you visit your family, and then you're just the fucking youngest kid again. You're like, just emaciates all of your identity and ego you have outside of the household or the family.
Absolutely. And I think that's like the really grounding thing about family. And
makes you honest.
Yeah.
Makes you kind of look like and go, oh shit, what am I doing?
Yeah, but it also like gives you like tough skin.
It does.
You know what I mean?
It does. I like being the youngest. I feel like I have the toughest skin of everyone.
Like, trust me, I've heard everything that I could ever hear from my siblings.
Yeah, someone who lived down the hall has said the worst shit I've heard. Like,
yeah, that
you're
hurts
not gonna
really
hurt.
bad. So anything you say now means nothing.
That's good. I like that. That's cool. Good. I was worried you were like super reserved and boring and had no concept of like the prickliness of reality.
No, not at all. If someone driving a Nissan told me fuck you on the road, I'd be like, I've heard worse.
I've heard worse, but not from anyone who's driven something worse.
Yeah.
You take the cake, asshole. Get out of here.
Exactly.
Toxic people.
I mean, I feel like maybe I'm being very vague and not answering your questions, but
Yeah, you are. It's really horrible. You're making it very difficult. I have to fucking really hang in there and poke your buttons now, but I'm not a sibling, so maybe I can't achieve
you can
it.
please do.
Okay, I will. It's going to happen. You do have a really nice haircut. I like your hair. Who styles your hair?
I have been seeing this guy recently. He's in Paso. His name is Edward Tedeschi. He cut it last. I just kind of let him do whatever he wanted, which was cool.
I really like
Please don't describe it.
Okay. I really like the booger globs you got in there. It's great. I wanted hair that looks like your hair when I was younger.
Okay.
There's a tease to it, and I appreciate that. And I really liked a certain amount of, this is now not your hair, so don't take it.
Yeah.
But I liked a lot of the goth hair tease stuff from the 80s.
Yeah.
And I really wanted that, and now I got kind of stuck with this forever greaser hairdo.
Yeah.
But it works, but so I really appreciate it. I'm stoked on it. That's why I asked who does your hair? Is that something you do? You're I'm a hairstylist, so I fucking do this shit myself.
No, I think it's really hard to do it on yourself.
I cut my hair for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, I feel like
It was not ever amazing.
people who cut their own hair are pretty amazing to me, honestly.
That's why I stopped cutting my own hairs. I couldn't deal with being that amazing.
Yeah. You were too cool.
No, I've never been accused of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's nice to just have someone do what they want to do.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's kind of how I felt. I feel similar. There's parallels between what you do and being in this shop and having a salon, being a hairstylist. And then yesterday I was getting a tattoo, first one I've gotten in 4 or 5 years. So it was interesting to see how I embraced it as an adult. And then it was also really cool to see someone who is good at their craft and what they're going to do. I didn't look at it the entire time it was happening.
Yeah.
I didn't want to look. I didn't want it to be spoiled. I saw the stencil. I knew it was going to, I had an idea what it was going to look like. And I trusted the apprentice and the other professional tattooer, and they made some really cool art on me. And I wanted to lend that to them because it was this is, I know where I want it and I know what I don't want you to do. Don't sneak a penis in there like some tattoo artists do or whatever. But it really came out well, and I like when you're around someone who's an auteur, and they can do that. They can give their individuality to be a part of it. Like my hairstylist. I really like what he does with my hair. Not what he was doing that first time, but that's why I stopped him. Every once in a while you gotta be no, flip it around. I like the color green actually. Whatever. But so I get it. I understand. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have some bad hair cuts you've gotten from people that?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it was. I think I wasn't prepared for it.
Who's prepared for a bad haircut?
Right.
You never think you're gonna walk out looking like a doofus.
And I did. Basically, I was I'm here and I'm open to anything. So then it was my own fault.
You gave him too much.
Yeah, I gave him a lot of freedom. So there's no one to blame but me.
No, I mean it's bold of you to be self-aware. It's nice of you to be self-aware and have the you can identify, take the responsibility for it was actually my fault. But they could also do something that wasn't horrible on you. Do you have pictures of it? What happened?
I do have pictures of it.
Okay.
Oh man, this is what's gonna get me canceled.
I doubt it. Why? What? There's no way you can get canceled. You're not a white person. They don't cancel people that have cultural backgrounds.
No, because I feel like I signed up for it, and then I think I just wasn't ready for it. It was a creative.
Would you get a fucking undercut, side cut, or something?
It was side. Do you remember the punk Chelsea haircuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's kind of what I got.
You got the skinhead haircut.
But it was a little bit longer. on the main part of it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Those girls scared me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was. I think that's cool. Like the fact that you have like such a, I mean, like in like the punk scene, such a like iconic hairstyle. Like me, even just saying it, you know exactly what it was.
Immediately identifiable.
I guess I just knew someone who was like so sweet and had one.
Who?
God.
Okay. I can't remember her name. Not
I
that
can't.
sweet,
No,
then.
no, no. I can't.
I think the camera died.
I can't say.
Nice. Fucking no more video.
Oh, it's done?
I think so. The screen went black. I don't know what the hell to do with that thing. It doesn't do what I want it to do.
Caitlin, do you know Caitlin McCullough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
So
I'm aware of her. I don't think I knew her in person.
She used to have one.
Yeah, she did. That's right.
We went to beauty school together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So then I ended up finding out that like she knew my brothers, which was cool.
Yeah. Were your brothers like into punk music and they grew up? Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, and she was so sweet.
Who are your
and I love her
brothers?
so much. So she, I don't know, she was just really cool.
Hell yeah.
And
so
she-
you're like, I want this bitch's hair right now.
Yeah, and she was like one of the people that I saw at Slow Brew. She's tiny. I saw her at Slow Brew, and I saw her like in a mosh pit. She like got thrown down to the ground, would stand back up and like keep going. And I was like, oh my God, I love her.
It's so
She's
tough.
So cool.
It's so cool. I know. Isn't that shit so hot? It's just like, this person is way. That's one thing is I was like, I don't think I'm ready for these chicks in this music scene. They're way cooler and tougher than I am. Yeah, no, the Slow Brew music scene and anyone who had a Chelsea haircut, for sure. Like I was like immediate crush on. I used to have a thing for girls with short hair, and Chelsea, that's immediately like, that's just like bangs and like fringe curtain framed hair and then buzzed in the back. I was too scared to ever pursue any of those girls, but there's at least 4 that I had a crush on for sure. That shit was spicy in the punk scene or in the music scene.
Yeah, it's just a wild haircut to have. Like you're already sending a message.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough bitch message.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
It's
keep
pretty
calling
cool.
women bitches. I mean it in the most respectful, like endearing way, though.
Tough, respectful bitches.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrifying. Also, I know I used to buzz my hair pretty short when I was pretty into punk too, and it was kind of like lending itself to like the skinhead culture. But I was like, I'm not gonna go bald. I have like a mole right here, and I have this bump that's been there forever. There's no way. You know what I mean? Also, yeah. Do you ever like? Are you ever cutting someone's hair and you're like, what the fuck is that? Gross shit.
They usually tell me.
Yeah, I have a little cyst right here, a little bump. So
Yeah, I
tell
remember
someone
you
that.
telling me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Yep.
I was like, this poor lady is gonna throw up on me in the middle of COVID right now.
No, the thing is that like we're just used to saying like all the things. So
Desensitized to it.
yeah.
Thank God I wasn't the worst.
No, not at all.
That's just something I'm insecure about. So it's so easy to like try and reach out and find what people actually think about it or like warrant. So I used to be, that's one of the reasons I cut my hair for 6, 7, 8 years was like, I don't want anyone to like touch this bump or have to talk to someone about it or know about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
was like something I was really insecure about. And I meant to go to a dermatologist and get that shit hacked off, but I am who I am. Lazy person. Some shit just falls to the wayside.
Welcome to this episode of Bad Etiquette. We're learning all about Dallas's flaws.
I know, we need to learn more about you. Why are you so close to the vest here?
To the what?
Close to the vest? You ever hear that expression? Mexicans. Are you actually, like, is that your background in a cultural respect? Your parents Mexican?
Yeah.
Yeah, just Mexican?
Yep.
Okay. Just curious, because I feel like there's a lot of people who don't identify the rest of the Central American countries as far as like people who get to immigrate to America and share their culture.
As far as I know, that's
It's all Mexico. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Is that what you think? Are you that?
yeah.
You just think they're all the same? They're all Spanish, and they just like, what kind of Mexican are you? I found out there's a big difference between Mexicans, depending on which coast, north and south, what Oaxacans are.
Yep.
Y'all aren't very nice to those people.
Oh my God.
You know that? You're like,
I don't know
oh,
what
fuck
kind of
you.
I don't know what kind of people
How do you know about that?
I don't know what kind of people you're talking about.
Oaxacans.
The ones that are mean to them, though.
Oh, normal people I grew up around. I feel like Oaxacans got a bad rap and they have amazing food.
Oh my gosh. No, I really want to go to Oaxaca. I hear it's amazing.
There's this terrific episode of Parts Unknown where Anthony Bourdain goes, and he goes so into depth about their food. And I was like, holy shit, that's a whole other level of Mexican food.
Yeah.
That's not just some taco truck shit. That sounds amazing. I kind of have like a bit of a cunt ass diet now. And I don't like to stray from it. And
I've never heard of a cunt ass diet. Can you please explain it to me?
why don't you tell me what your diet is first? Let's get a little bit more of the guest here. You were a guest.
I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm just like a gross, like, dude, man who drinks whiskey, loves a good steak. I'm like a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like good steak?
Steak.
Well, yeah. I eat steak 3 to 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
Like exclusively.
So good.
It got too much of a bad rap growing up, and people associate it with poor health and like arteries being clogged, and it's this huge misconception. And I really stick to a very I like now to eat mostly whole foods, having meat being like the primary category that I stick to. And I do like 3 to 4 nights a week will have just steak, or like I said, like I'll go to In-N-Out, Flying Dutchman. People who don't know what a Flying Dutchman is, girl,
it's
that
just
is
a patty, right?
just patties and cheese.
Yeah.
It is so good. Actually, I think if you get just a patty, I don't even know if they season it. It's called a Scooby snack.
Is it?
Yeah, it's called a Scooby snack. Isn't that
What?
cool? I'm gonna go to In-N-Out after this. I guarantee it.
How do you feel about animal style fries?
They're pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't get fries. I'm not a big French fry guy.
Yeah.
I do love sweet potato fries though.
I'm a French fry guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
You're a dad.
I'm a dad.
So you just like whiskey, steak, and French fries? What else do you eat?
It's my jam.
What about Mexican food? You don't like Mexican food? Are you just over it? You're like, Mom.
Yeah, so I think what happened was I was just always around it, and so like now all my friends, and even like in high school and stuff, they were always like, oh my God, I love all this food. Like they would come over or whatever and be like, this is just like, I didn't really appreciate it, I guess.
Well, you're so close to it, and they love it
Yeah.
because that's not something that might be a mainstay in their household. And you're
Right.
like, I'm stuck with this, guys. You guys have a casserole you can bring over or something?
Oh, like I loved that. I loved like green bean casseroles. Like when
Yeah, it's
I hadn't
really
had
good.
one since like a couple of years ago. It's my first time I had it.
It's a good like Thanksgiving dish too.
I love a good mashed potato.
Yeah. Oh,
So
fucking
good.
Hey, man. And these are a lot of things I don't even eat anymore, but I still know they're delicious. I still have lived. I just don't live anymore. I'm
Why?
dying inside and outside. Just because I realized how like my insecurities as far as like physically, like what I look like with my shirt off, and health wise, and like just what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but just like even like working out and like my sustainability as a person and longevity as far as those things go would have been really, really helped by changing my diet. And I ate like shit and drank like shit, and I was addicted to soda the majority of my life. And I wasn't even a fat kid. I was just chubby enough to not be normal or feel comfortable with my shirt off in a pool, and it's these deep-seated and deep-rooted insecurities that I've just been trying to stave off, and something that has immensely helped is this diet and eating this way and avoiding things that are super processed and actually really bad for people. And it's also like there's also a certain amount of like smug, like I fucking am better than you because I know this and you don't. Like how vegans are. I'm essentially a vegan with my attitude. Just I eat the opposite of what they eat and just eat like fucking animal foods. It's really nice, and fruit and honey, and that's it.
Are you a Whole Foods guy?
Like, do I go to the store? I don't think there's a Whole Foods any fucking where near us. So, no, absolutely not. I go to Trader Joe's, but their meat sucks, and it's all like vacuum sealed, and every time I cook it, it is garbage. So I get my collagen powder from Trader Joe's, and I get my ghee from Trader Joe's sometimes. But no, I like going to Valley Fresh or Cali Fresh or whatever the fuck it's called around here, and I'll get a tub of beef tallow or ghee, and I go to Albertsons and get a steak from the butcher counter. I don't even go to the little refrigerated like aisle. I go to the actual butcher and say, hey, I want one of those, and it's so good. Yeah, it's so good. I'm the lightest I've been in probably 10 years. Just about 10 years.
I just want this on record. You're glowing.
It's because I've been drinking and I'm a little sweaty, so it's like the lighting. It's just like reflective, I think.
Oh, it's the alcohol.
Oh, look at how red my nose is. Jesus. Why didn't you tell? You're glowing. You're red. Look, your nose looks like an alarm right now. You didn't tell me that. Jeez, there's too many mirrors in this place.
It's pretty rough.
It's pretty rough. Yeah. That's why you dress nice and your hair is nice. You're like, I have to stare at myself all day.
You're like, you think you look fine, and then you're like having a bad day, and you're like, you can't escape these mirrors. It's a fun house.
It's without the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I do too much gawking at myself in my own mirrors, anyways. I think. Have you seen that new Predator movie on Hulu, Prey?
No.
It's really good. And I love predators because they have giant foreheads just like I do. And I think that's why I love them as science fiction creatures so much.
I didn't think you had a big forehead until you pointed it out. And I think this is a lesson that women and men need to
appreciate people's foreheads. Dude, people shit on women and their big foreheads so much. It's hilarious. Like on TikTok, I watch a ton of TikTok because I'm broken as a human. And it is hilarious. Big forehead and women with big foreheads is just like a entire subculture now.
So bad. I have not downloaded TikTok because I will be obsessed with it.
Yeah, I
just already know.
Also, Chinese Communist Party gets all this access to your data. That's wild. My friend he teased me about that. He's like, "Oh, you like having the CCP up your ass?" And I was like, "What are they gonna do? What could they possibly extract from me?"
And what if I do like having them up my ass?
Yeah, it's like, I'm into kinks, bud. Try it sometime. You ever had a Chinese up your ass? You ever had a whole party in your ass?
You'll probably like it.
Yeah. I should have went that route. I didn't roast him enough. But I told him, I was like, what are they going to do? Invade America? That would be so rad to have a hot war. There hasn't been anyone that's invaded America since Americans invaded it and made it America. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty wild.
But also, I'm petrified that it's going to happen. And there's this really terrific quote, and I know that you probably know this because you're a guy like me from World War II. To invade mainland America would be like a critical error. There would be a rifle behind every blade of grass. And it was something I think was spoken by like a Japanese general, or maybe it was a Chinese. I can't tell them apart, honestly, unless they're extracting my info on TikTok. I said it. No, I'm just teasing. But I don't know what it's from, but it was truly true when I heard it, and that's something I like. That it's like, there's a lot of restrictions in this country about like what guns people can own, and they own them anyways. And it's really great because it's like, that is a huge defense from anyone from invading this place. Makes me feel pretty good.
That makes a lot of sense. I had not thought about that.
Yeah, I like that.
How else do you feel about the Chinese?
Great food. Amazing food.
What's your Chinese food order?
It's been so long because the way I've eaten, I don't really know. Well, I used to go to this place in Nipomo. I grew up in Nipomo, and I don't know where you're from or where you grew up, but it was called the Golden Dragon. And I loved that. We'd have wonton soup and chow mein, and it was just like, I loved Chinese food and Chinese culture, and I loved Jackie Chan when I was younger, and I was like, this shit is so fucking cool. Why can't I be Chinese? So I have like a weird, like inherent respect for the idea of what China has been and become. And I'm sure there's a lot of Chinese people that are like, hey, we don't like this communist party shit either, but we can't hear them because they're being put into like camps.
Do you think that's why you like TikTok so much?
I think it's just like my way, like my little dedication to the Chinese. Like, I got you guys. It's cool.
Yeah.
No, I think it's because I'm a regular human that is easily inundated with algorithms that are beyond my human understanding. And I just go, holy shit, look at this girl's ass. Oh my God, they're talking about trucks. Perfect. And it just zaps me into all my little like surface level
They're
interests.
like, he's a simple guy. He just likes women's butts, and just give him a patty with cheese at In-N-Out and he's fine.
I've never been so stricken and cut down with perfect sentences before in my life. So I appreciate it. Let's change gears here. I was told to talk to you about movies.
Okay, yes, please. This
So-
is my forte.
Fuck yeah, let's get into it.
Sarcasm, baby.
Damn it.
Hit me with it.
Oh, my sarcasm or yours?
Mine.
So this isn't your forte? You told me at Bill's that there's a lot of movies you haven't seen. People are like, oh my God, you should see this. Like,
Yeah,
that
people
was
are going to get so mad.
Nah, fuck them. I don't care if they're mad. You're not going to have to deal with them. You're just going to have to deal with me.
Fine.
Might be a little worse. What movies can you watch anytime? What are your comfort movies?
I was obsessed with The Sandlot. Still am. I had the biggest crush on Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Dude.
You better believe it.
Me too. Are you kidding me? I was like, I'm gay as a boy for this Benny.
It was the reason why I love baseball uniforms. I always wanted PF Flyers. Yeah. He was just a good guy.
Just a good guy. And like he wasn't the main character, but he was like the focus of the story too.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Everyone
really
in there
like
is
that.
great. Yaya's awesome. Squints is so good. He ends up with Wendy Peppercorn.
Wendy Peppercorn. I know. I think about that all the time. About like just like people you've had crushes on as you're growing up, and I never was sly enough to fake being drowned.
Yeah.
That's not sly. That's actually sexual assault. But you know what I mean. It was really great in the 90s. It worked out pretty nice for him. That's good. I need to watch that movie again. That is an instant classic. That was
It's so good.
always good.
What else
Hercules
would
the
I
Dog.
watch?
Yeah, what else?
Again, memory. That I never understood Star Wars until recently.
I was just gonna fucking ask you. I was like, Star Wars, like which? I swear to God, I was like, don't say Star Wars right now, Dallas. Just wait for Empire and don't talk to her about it. And you said Star Wars. I'm finally glad we're on the same page, kiddo. All right, you didn't understand Star
I didn't
Wars.
understand it. I didn't get it.
It's in
Why?
English. Is it because it wasn't in Spanish?
Yeah, it is exactly why.
Makes sense. Who believes there's no Mexicans in space?
I mean-
They got to America. They're gonna get up there. Like, come on. It's very rude to not have them represent. There's black people in space.
I just learned English last year.
At least two. I can tell your accent's kind of
Yeah.
thick. Yeah, it's all right. I'll help you. We got
okay,
some
thanks.
words. Like I have a word bank.
Who starts a story in the middle?
It's not even the middle though. It's that they went back and created the origin, and I think it's honestly one of the best. There's no other examples of such an aggressive prequel, such a great origin story being established.
Right.
And like, I'm sure those people who got to watch A New Hope and were like, oh my God, like when Obi-Wan fought with like who Luke's dad was, and they were in the Clone Wars. What the hell is that? There's more of these fuckers? They're cloned? Like, it is so cool to like see and hear and listen. I am such a big Star Wars nerd. It was one of my earliest memories was my brother showing me Star Wars. I was like, Justin, we have to rewind it. It's over. And he's like, no, this is the opening. It's not the credits. I thought it was the credits because I couldn't read yet. And he's like, no, it's the beginning. Just stop. Because I hadn't seen movies before, so I knew at the end there was a lot of goddamn words. So yeah. I'm like, hey, no way. We got to rewind these VHS tapes here. They were all like pirated too. I don't even know what to call them. Like they're all taped. They're all on one tape. One like blank tape that someone had recorded. Yeah. Just stole. I love Star Wars. I think that there's a bittersweetness to how they've fucked with it in recent years.
Yeah. It wasn't until recently that I was able to like kind of watch them all in order that it like made sense. And I think I just didn't have anyone to like explain it to me. Mm-hmm. So now I get it, and now I really appreciate it. I understand the like cults, like classic vibe it has, and how important it is to people.
It's weird. It is really important to people.
Yeah. I think that's cool.
It's really cool.
I just feel like I had to be really careful with who I talk to about like certain things.
Oh, well, I have no pride that you're going to offend, or there's no sensibilities that you could possibly offend. I would love if you talked to me about Star Wars and gave me your opinion on any of it. Like genuinely, I think I've grown up enough to be able to handle that.
No, I love it. I just like sometimes I have questions.
What's the matter with you? Don't question it. It's fine the way it is.
What happens, and I need clarification.
I'll clarify anything about Star Wars for you. Who's your favorite Star Wars character in whole? Whole.
Ooh, that's a good. Wait, why are you laughing at me?
Because I said
I'm not
whole.
Gonna,
It was funny. It was just I'm Beavis and Butthead in reality. And it was just funny that I said that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at you already. You're not funny.
I know I'm not. I don't have a favorite.
That's okay.
I can't.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't think so.
Which storyline was like your favorite? You have a favorite of the series?
I like. God, this is gonna. People are gonna kill me for this. I love Natalie Portman.
Oh, me too.
And Hayden Christensen.
So huge crush on Natalie Portman.
Right?
My fourth grade book report was on Hayden Christensen.
No, it wasn't.
I swear to God, are you kidding me?
What did you write about it?
I don't remember. My mom wrote it. It was great. No, it just wrote about like his acting career, and I remember the cover photo.
How terrible it was.
Yeah, shut up. And and like how he came to prominence and inevitably got that role. Yeah. And no, I love those two. The prequels, honestly, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised with how much support the prequels get. And
they're
like
really
how much people
bad.
love them.
People hate them.
Fuck them. That's old. That's old news.
Yeah.
Especially with like the storylines that they've expanded on, and they had the Obi-Wan show come out on Disney Plus. Like people aren't like that anymore. And that's what I got to see in theaters. I saw all three of them.
Yeah.
I didn't see the first one. I didn't see Phantom Menace. I saw Attack of the Clones and fucking Revenge of the Sith in theaters. Some of the most important memories of my life. I love those movies.
So like looks wise, I like those two actors.
Yeah, seriously. I was kind of bummed he had like long hair in the third one in Revenge of the Sith.
But then his acting gets so much better.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, and there's this meme that's gone around that's kind of like made a good point about it. It's like he was supposed to be an awkward teenager or awkward young person, and then he acted like an awkward young person, and you fucking panned it. Come on. And I think that's like, got a good point there. That's right. Back me up, Sonny.
Yeah.
No, that.
Wait.
It's a huge part of my childhood. I really appreciate it.
In the originals, there's so many good ones. Like, Leia's awesome. Right? Don't you agree? Obi-Wan is great.
She was my least favorite.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, there's just women in space. This is gay as hell.
Yeah, women are the worst, right?
I mean, not really. They're literally the reason I'm here. Yeah. You know.
I'm glad you acknowledged that.
Yeah, no, I love women. Like the sweetheart of a young lady got this connection made, so we could do this podcast, and that's really awesome.
Harrison Ford is great in it.
My hero.
He's just
such a stud. When I was a kid, I wanted pants exactly like Han Solo.
Yeah, he is like a salty man dream.
It was like, yeah, he was like one of the first anti-heroes that I saw as a kid, and I just clung to this persona, and it is just unfortunately never left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love Han Solo, probably my favorite character in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, there's some great side characters and some smaller characters that, like they did the Boba Fett show.
Yep.
That was cool. Book of Boba Fett. You know, a lot of people didn't like it. They're like, "What the fuck is this? Mandalorian season 3?" I don't know how much you've watched, but the Mandalorian shows up in that show a little much.
Yeah. Yeah, I did watch those. I don't think I watched the Boba Fett one. But yeah, who's your favorite? Han Solo?
It might be Han Solo. I loved Boba Fett as a kid, and then there's that like rivalry between Han Solo and Boba Fett, and then there's this little animated shorts they did when I was a kid, before the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. They were the Gennady Tartakovsky. I think I'm saying that right. It's a Russian animator. Is his kind of creation. Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. So it was that era with Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen. There's a bunch of voice actors, but there's this one episode where they have this like random bad guy general who has a bunch of like droids on like swoop bikes, and his name's Dirge. 2 motorcycles drove by as soon as I said that. That was so awesome. His name's Dirge, and I was just so fascinated with this brief little storyline where Obi-Wan is like in a clone trooper uniform and then fights him and has a lightsaber, and it's like the pinnacle of like what my favorite fucking little subplot or character story is in all of Star Wars. And it's this little animated short. I remember when they came out as a kid, and I was like out to dinner with my family, and they always came on at 7:00, and I knew I wanted to be home by 7, and it was like 7:05, 7:07, and I missed the whole show, and I was so upset.
Oh, no.
And I missed it, and I was so bummed because it was like, fuck.
I used to do that with I used to have my sister record on a VHS Happy Days, because as soon as I would get home, it would be over.
Oh, that sucks. So you never record it?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a sister.
Yeah.
Wow. You just talked about the 2 brothers. You don't like the sister?
I love her.
Okay. What the fuck?
She's the least problematic.
Oh, that's why you didn't even. I just mentioned the problematic.
Yeah.
How about your mom?
Yeah. Super cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but Happy Days.
I've never watched Happy Days.
No?
I've never watched Happy Days.
You have to. It's so good.
I might.
You should.
Is it even available on anything?
It has to be.
Well, yeah, it has to be, but like, hopefully it's on one of the streaming apps I already pay for, and I don't have to find something else. What's kind of annoying is like things I want to watch are on those gross free ones like Tubi, and like I'm like, it's free, but I know it's something about it's making me feel gross. There's gonna be like some dumb commercials in the middle of it.
Commercials all the time.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Literally, streaming's just turning into TV. It's so gross. Where it's like, why the fuck is this just inundated with these dumb commercials? You're literally, I'm paying $60 a month for these 6 streaming apps instead of the $60 for DirecTV or whatever.
Yeah.
It sucks. But then you ever go to someone's house and like just have TV or DirecTV? That's grim.
It sucks.
That's brutal. I feel like they're living in a Twilight Zone episode. It's the past in their house. I hate that.
Yeah, because you can't choose what you want to watch. It's
and then you can't
what's on
choose
it.
when the commercial comes on, or if to skip it, or have the premium plan with no commercials. God, those people are.
But at least they can watch Jeopardy.
I guess Alex Trebek's dead.
I
Who
mean,
hosts it now?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they're just like
I don't have
recycling
DirecTV.
guest. DirecTV. Look back these questions here.
Look at your notes.
Yeah, no, because I had some good questions I wanted to ask you. Because we left off of what movies you can watch anytime, and Star Wars kind of let us go on a tangent. Who did you learn from the most? Like, what valuable lessons did you learn?
I think my grandma.
Your grandma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really cool. She's like a small little lady. I mean, I've only known her when she's like older, but I always describe her as like the Clint Eastwood of the family. Cool. Like super, just like to the point.
Shoots from the hip.
Yeah. She'll give you a look that like we just all know.
That's grandmothers for you.
Yeah.
I think grandpas get that cult stereotype, but it's actually the grandmothers.
It's the grandma.
The fucking
It's
brutal
the grandma.
ones. My grandmother has hurt my feelings more than any person on this goddamn planet.
Yep.
That's cool. That's funny. What about what are some valuable lessons you've learned from like exes too? Like something you've taken from relationships that maybe it obviously didn't work out, but you're happy you learned, you value.
That's a good question.
I know it's kind of a departure from the previous question, but it
was
is
pretty
kind
wild.
of the prototype of that question's what I was curious about.
I guess just like knowing what you want, like maybe being a little bit selfish about what you. It's hard because I'm not like a selfish person, so like thinking about what it is that you really want and kind of like more long term and being a little bit more strict about that is.
Yeah, like you have to represent what you're here for and respect yourself as well as the other person by, saying like, hey, this is how much time we have in this world. This is not working. This is not happening. Or if this is gonna work, this has to happen.
Yeah.
Valuing something similar. That's very important.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a long-term relationship with someone, so I am very fortunate to grow with her and learn those lessons together instead of having to like look back in anger or pain and kind of go, oh, this was a way to make this relationship better.
Yeah.
It's strengthened it a lot. So I like that. That was a really genuine. That was a really genuine smile. That made me feel good. I wasn't even trying to be sweet, but that made me feel like I said the right thing.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really good.
Well, I'm very curious because I, as an adult, really haven't gone through multitudes of relationships, and I don't have exes to like, place red flags on, because it's like I only have the red flags I bring and what she brings and what we turn them into and hopefully grow into.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly haven't either. I think I've dated like 2-3 people. Yeah. That's it.
That's good. It's normal. It seems like that's healthy for your age.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what healthy is, but like.
Hey, me too. I'm out of whiskey already. I'm going to pour some more.
Yeah, please do.
Please keep telling me more what you were saying though. I don't want to let that detract.
What was the question?
Well, it was more just like things you've learned from people, obviously, that you've dated. And you said you've only dated 2 or 3 people, so maybe those lessons aren't so abundant, or you can't compare them to like a larger lesson that's been learned. I don't know. It was just something I had written down.
I think it's important to like. I think you realizing. Like that you're able to grow with someone and like realize that you like guys both have flaws or red flags, but you can work on them together, like even call each other out in like a healthy way, or just really just grow. I think that's super important.
It is.
I don't know, maybe I had the like perspective of being like a younger kid and like observing like my older cousins and what they would do, who they like would bring over to meet the family, and I don't know, just kind of like watching really, and then realizing from there what I wanted and what I didn't want, and then you like learn from it, from your own mistakes, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's something very fortunate about being one of the youngest in the family, and you get to observe everyone's errors, critical errors they make within the family, and you're like, I'm not going to bring them around. That person is in my back pocket and not coming home. That's funny.
Like I remember having my older cousins bring their like a boyfriend to meet my grandma, and it was the one, like when I started to catch on to like the role that my grandma has, and
Like how
important.
the dynamic is.
Yeah. So like she's just like watching and observing, and then I just started to notice she would like give this look, and immediately like I would see it so like every once in a while.
But you were noticing
And I started to like catch on and
Yeah.
realize, and I'd be like, oh, that guy's not gonna last.
Yeah, this is.
And she didn't have to say anything.
Not made for this family.
It's not gonna work. So then eventually, like months later, they would break up,
Oh.
and then my grandma would be like, I knew it.
And you're like, Grandma, I knew it.
Yeah.
That's all the look.
Yeah. So it's like they're so wise, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And
They've been around the block.
yeah.
That's funny. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. I know.
That is true.
Grandmas are cool.
They are cool. My grandma's a sweetheart. She just turned 80. I love her to death. Not because death is like around the corner and she's 80. I'm just saying, like, I love her to death. Like, I'm so happy to have her in my life. She's my last grandparent. My mom was put up for adoption, adopted. That mom left and was raised by a different mom.
Yeah.
After that. So she has her biological mother, her adoptive mother, and then her stepmother. And all of them are dead. And her dad's dead. And my grandfather on my dad's side is dead. And all my great-grandparents on my dad's side are dead. And all my great-grandparents on my mother's side are dead. So my grandmother that just turned 80 is my last grandparent. And I get to place all of my adoration and all my growth as a human onto her and get to like interface with her. And so she is like supreme, you know. That's why I'm like, my grandmother's hurt my feelings the most out of any person. Like, for sure, that shit cuts deep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yep.
Both of my grandfathers had mustaches, so I feel like I'm doing them proud by keeping the stash going.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. Do you have any great stories stories you want to tell me from working here? You have some shitty customers, clients rather,
let's see.
or great ones. Maybe one bought you a bottle of whiskey and said thanks for the haircut, or
Yeah.
this is so exciting.
I made some really good friends. One of those like clients turned friends. Her mom brought me a bottle of whiskey for my birthday, and I like blushed and started sweating because I was so happy, and it was the sweetest thing.
That's really sweet.
So that was cool. I feel like the good times override the bad ones.
That's good.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is great. There's a good like bond with the people here, so I feel like people
Your
have my
clientele
back.
and
You know
the
what I mean?
Coworkers. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been some bad ones. I've gotten like really upset at times. Just like people on power trips, and like I said, I don't need to like do what I want all the time. Like I'm open to what I think about it. How I think about it is, it's problem solving. So how does it?
You fix their hair problem, maybe.
Right, but also like, how do you live your life on a day to day? Let's figure this out. What's going to be easy for you? So I like try to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah. Okay. So like to get to know the client and like what their hair is going to go through, essentially.
Yeah.
What they're going to interface with.
Yeah, like let's make it.
Okay.
It's like a problem solving.
Yeah.
Every time.
I like that. You're getting a target package for this person's hair. That's cool.
Yep.
I like that. That's good to know.
So I've learned to avoid the like really bad situations by asking a ton of questions. If that makes sense.
It does, absolutely, because
Yeah.
you've fielded what is going to work and what's not going to work, and you know that like you may want bangs, sweetie, but bangs are not going to want you in this world.
Exactly.
That type of thing.
But also like, if you want to rock bangs, do it. Who am I to tell you not to do it,
Yeah.
right?
Just don't be mad at me in a week when they're all fucking crooked and
Exactly.
peeling apart.
Yep. No, exactly.
You work outside.
Like, don't get mad at me for giving you what you want. I'm going to tell you how it is going to go on the day to day. And if you're cool with it, I'll show you how to like style it, do it. But you can't get mad at me.
Yeah, please don't come back here complaining.
Yeah.
Do you have mostly female clientele?
I do. Yeah.
How often you get a dude come in here? Just
Maybe
to do
like
podcast?
once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah.
It's not a lot. It's not very often.
It's not.
There's
no.
a lot more days in the week.
Yeah,
That's
wild.
Wild.
You guys are pretty awkward in the hair salon.
I don't understand that because I kind of I graduated from like Supercuts, Fantastic Sam's to just going to salons. I didn't go to my first barber shop till, I don't know, it was deep at like 25 maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember my first barber. Like I did not go to barber shops. I was like, men kind of in that environment didn't make me feel like comfortable.
Yeah.
And still to this day, like I go to a barber shop and I'm still like, I am not cool enough for what they think they are right now. And I'm just trying to like, I have very wild kind of like mom, and she's very like inflicts her personality on people. So like, I'm not intimidated by being around women or feeling awkward. And I like that. So salons were an easy place to go.
Yeah.
So men who are just, strong enough to walk in here and go through that. I admire those once a week people.
Yeah, and it's usually like the husbands of the wives who come in. Yeah. And I think that's kind of why they're maybe seeking something a little bit different, or they just feel comfortable coming in, which I think is cool.
Also, like as a guy, who do you want more to make your hair look good? A bunch of fucking dudes, or like a bunch of young women who think it looks good? So when you go out into the world, you're going to feel validated as
Yeah.
a member of your gender. Like,
Right.
hell yeah, I look sexy because these ladies made it look sexy. They know what's up.
Exactly.
I think it's very validating. I always want to ask like women like, hey, what kind of hair should I get? Or what kind of clothes should I dress like? Like I kind of want to know. Like that shit's important still as a young person, where it's like, I don't care who knows it. I want to be fucking sexy.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is it the boots? Should I get rid of them? What is it? So I think that's good when guys come in to the salon.
Yeah,
Good for them.
definitely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Checks out. Right on. How do you stay organized as someone who has to do appointments and do podcasts and have a social life?
I'm so busy. You're very lucky that I fit you into my schedule.
I am. This was a rescheduling. This is wild.
No, I'm constantly on my phone. I'm constantly looking at my schedule all the time.
I absolutely love having a planner and a schedule
Yeah.
and a calendar. It's so cathartic.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to me or where it came from, but there's like a certain like anal retentiveness that I've harnessed, and it is made my life a better one.
Yeah, it's so nice to know like what you're doing, where you're going. But yeah.
Well, how do you do it then?
My method, I'm just very intense about it. I'm always looking over it, because if it's not like
Have your friends
written down or
loved ones describe you as intense doing it, or do you just identify that it's
I'm always on my phone,
Yeah.
just looking at my schedule, trying to like make things work.
What tools do you use?
I use Square.
Okay.
The Square booking.
Square
And then
booking, okay.
Google Calendar.
I was going to say Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Chris Lambert and Allie, they're pretty stern about Google Calendar. I like more analog. I like having written stuff. That kind of does it for me a little easier.
Yeah.
I
I
like the
prefer
pen and
the
paper.
like written ones, but then I would like forget it at home, forget it in my car.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer when you don't have it, because it's like if it's on a interface, it's like, oh well, that's on my Apple
Right.
like account, so I can have that on 3 different items. That's way easier than forgetting it at home, and then it's not in my car, then it's not at work, and then it's like that's degrees of separation I can't get right now.
Right.
What was the Square one called?
It's just like what I use for my appointments here at work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Square. I think it's Square Appointments.
Square Appointments. And is that
Yeah.
something that like just like is for appointments in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Just kind of curious. I'm always trying to find a neater and better way to like organize life and things in general. So I
Yeah.
like to know what people's process is, especially creative process. I got this this book. What is it called? It's about all these like famous people's routines. I think it might be called Daily Routines, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Something just as simple as that. And it's like Benjamin Franklin and Madonna and like all these people throughout history and all these exciting things and what their process was and what their routine was and what they did or didn't do. And it just speaks to that like mannerism of, I need to do a podcast, but I have work, but I also want to play and I want to do these things, and I just like want to organize it, and it gets a little dizzying when you're inexperienced and young, and you're like, I don't know if this is going to work or not.
Right.
You reading any books right now?
I am not. Is that bad?
I don't know. You tell me. Are you embarrassed by that fact?
No, I mean, I feel like everyone's always reading stuff, but honestly, I work a lot, and the minute I start reading, I just fall asleep.
Might be a good thing to have, though. You can go to sleep at the end of the day. Start
Yeah.
reading something. Just use that as a tool.
Yeah. What are you reading?
I'm rereading this book series by Jack Carr. He is a retired Navy SEAL, and he has this fictional account of this man named James Reese, whose family gets killed and his SEAL team gets killed, and he has to find out what happened. And it's like 4 or 5 books now, and he just came out with a new one, and I already read that one, so I went back to read them all, or I listened to them. They're all audio books because I can't sit down and read very often. It's just time consuming, and it's also like kind of robs me of like my bodily autonomy, so I can't be en route to coming to a podcast or going to see my friend. But if I'm going to see my friend and I listen to a book, get reading done essentially, and I like that a lot. I'm also actually reading a physical copy of Tim Kennedy's book, Scars and Stripes. He's a local guy who is a former UFC fighter and Army Special Forces Ranger, sniper, all this cool shit. And something that's really like intriguing about it is he's describing like Morro Bay and Slow and Santa Maria and like talking about things he did around here, and that kind of really grounds me, and I like that a lot because he's a really successful person and did things that I wish I could have done growing up, and it's kind of inspiring, and I like that a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. I didn't ask that question so I could brag about what I was reading. I did actually want it. Well, I just had that, and I haven't had a podcast talk to anyone with it in a while. But that's what's sitting on the front seat of my truck right now.
Yeah, I can't really do audiobooks.
Why
I have
not?
a hard time with that.
Do you listen to podcasts or anything?
Not really.
Really?
Yeah.
It's rare you meet someone who doesn't have podcasts or something now.
Yeah,
to listen to.
I get so distracted, honestly. I'm a very visual person, so the podcasts that have video are really, really good for me. I will watch them.
Oh, so you'll watch them?
Yeah, I'll watch them.
A lot of people have told me like you need to have video, and I think that's so true. And a while ago, I heard how important it is to have video. Hence that dead camera over there.
I mean, there's something to, because I think what happens is when you have video, a lot of the times people will show, like in some podcasts, they'll have a lot of visual things.
It's so shareable,
and a
too.
lot of people,
you can clip it, and it's on Instagram now.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook now. It's on TikTok now. It can be on Snapchat. It can be in an ad, and it's so much more dissectable.
Yeah, but there's people who only exclusively, I think, listen to audio.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, I don't watch
So-
podcasts.
Yeah.
I wish I could, but I'm usually driving or I'm at work, so I got to listen to it.
Yeah.
Watching is not really a possibility most of the time. So are there ones you watch then?
I like Bad Friends.
Yeah,
That's a really good
That's
one.
a really good one. I love those guys.
Yeah.
Santino's one of my favorites. I love his like mannerisms, his inflections, and his like
Yeah.
deadpan humor. He really. Do you like Trash Tuesday?
I don't.
You don't like it, or you just haven't gotten there?
I don't like it.
Oh, you dislike it?
I've watched some of them. I'll only watch them if there's certain guests on there that I
Okay.
really want to see.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know why.
I listen to it with Kylie a lot,
Do you?
and she loves it, and I love it too because like I like Annie Letterman. I want to be a comedian. Like that would be great if
Yeah.
my life could pan out that way, and I could be like make a living being a comic. That'd be nice. But yeah, no, I really like them, and also Bobby Lee's now ex, Kalila, is just ridiculously attractive. So that's just like a shoe-in for me.
Yeah. I mean, she's
You're
beautiful.
like, I hate all of those facts about it, actually.
I just don't think she's funny.
She's not
Sorry?
funny. That's fine. She's not that's why she's not a comedian. I mean, she said funny things, but like it's fine. That's just you're
Yeah.
entitled to not find something funny. Because believe me, there's a lot of people I don't find funny and I don't get. They're so popular and people love them, and it just polarizes me for sure.
Yeah.
So it's
Like-
perfectly okay.
I mean, I remember being like, "Oh my god, she seems really cool," and then so I like started listening to like Trash Tuesday and Tiger Belly,
Yeah.
and I just didn't really like care.
Yeah, you're just like, I don't think that. When something doesn't speak to like your life and it kind of gets a little out of touch, it can be
Yeah.
difficult to listen to.
Right.
And that's happened to me with podcasts I love, and that hurts and that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I'm just like, this person is bitching about something that is so out of scope and so irrelevant to me, and I just don't relate anymore.
Yeah.
Even though I adore them as a human. You know what I mean? They're one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
God, that sucks. What else besides Bad Friends and not Trash Tuesday?
I really like. I love Chris Stefano.
Dude, Chrissy D,
Chrissy
Chaos.
Chaos.
You like his fucking podcast?
I love him.
Do you what's the one he
Hey
has
Babe?
with Sal? Hey Babe.
Love Hey Babe.
Dude, Hey Babe's so good. Me and Kylie would sit by the beach and listen to Hey Babe.
It's
as
so
a ritual
good.
In when we lived down in Oceanside, it was so good. I love that.
I love it so much. And then Sal and Joe DeRosa's Taste Buds.
Oh my God, I didn't even know DeRosa had a podcast with Sal. That's so
You
cool.
have to watch it.
I just was recently listening to I think it was Burr's podcast, with Bill Burr's podcast with DeRosa, because him and DeRosa are extremely close and like
Okay.
big friends. And Bill Burr's one of the main reasons I started a podcast, because he has his solo podcast. He primarily does it solo, and that
Yeah.
kind of was a built-in reason to be like, I could fucking do this anywhere, anytime. I haven't done a solo one in a while. It seems kind of, so what's it called with the Rose and
It's
Sal?
called Taste Buds.
Taste Buds. I get it. Okay.
And so they battle. So every week they choose something to argue about.
Really?
Because I guess like
I love that.
I didn't know a whole lot about Joe DeRosa, but he has like a really interesting personality where he's like always like angry.
Oh, that's so interesting. Finally, someone who finds me interesting. Great. I love that. Thank you.
So they will battle about like one time it was like raisins versus watermelon. And so they pick one and they have all these arguments about it, and then they have like a poll that they put out on Twitter, and so
Yeah.
people like vote.
I can't believe I've never heard of this.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it sounds fucking fantastic.
And they get so passionate about these things.
What a bunch of assholes.
Like chain restaurants, like salads versus soup. It's just the best because halfway through, I'm like, why am I watching
Yeah.
two grown men argue about soup versus salad?
Fat woman, and I'm like, there's no. I feel like this is like food porn. Like,
I love it.
Tubby people's like dream podcast. That sounds amazing.
They're like,
so
finally, something I care about.
Yeah. You have to listen to it.
Okay, I'll
It's
give it a
really
try.
good.
Taste buds. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to Tuesdays with Stories.
I made it.
Mark Normand and Joe List.
Oh, nice.
So good.
Doesn't Mark Norman have a podcast where he just
We
gets
Might Be
drunk?
Drunk with Sam
Mhm.
Morrill. Sam Morrill has a special coming out on Netflix on September 1st. Stoked for that. He's great. Yeah. I don't listen to that one a lot. I listen to it like when they have a good guest. Like
Yeah.
they had Bill Burr on recently, so I was like, that's my guy. I'm definitely listening to. So God damn. That's one of those ones where I can't sit down and sit there and watch a video. You know what I mean? I'm like fidgety. I have
okay.
ADHD as it is. I'm on medication for that, and I still can't do it. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, so I gotta. It's difficult for me to sit in one place and like pay attention to something.
Yeah.
You know, podcasting is different because it's like a connection. I get to have some communication with someone, get to know you. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's like stimulating enough where like the 2D surface of a video is not cutting it.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Those are good.
So you're not going to be watching this podcast, let me tell you. It looks good over there, even though it's dead as hell.
Maybe you just have to keep it under an hour?
That's not a podcast. That's a fucking dumb radio show or something. That sucks. I know. I need to figure out what it is with these cameras. I really don't know how people do it. Because people have podcasts and their cameras don't die. And I guess it's happened to some of them.
You can't switch out the battery?
Well, the battery is, like I said, proprietary. So I think that if I switched out the battery, it would still just die, and I don't have another one. I think there's like an aftermarket one, like a more heavy duty one's gonna last longer, and I think that's just one of the ways they nickel and dime you. It's like, let's sell it with like the dumb battery, and then they'll have to buy the $90 battery. You know?
Yeah.
So, because like this recorder is on like low battery, but it's just like double A's.
Yeah.
It's been doing this whole podcast. This has been great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fuck yeah. That's something I need.
I love that.
Well, and they're the same brand too. And so Zoom makes fantastic audio recorders.
Mm-hmm.
So their video is just like not their wheelhouse. The audio sounds great on this and the video is pretty good, but I just don't think they have the same. I don't know.
Someone's doing too much.
Zooming too much.
They're trying to do audio and video, and maybe they should just stick to audio.
That's fine. They can branch out. I don't have a business. I'm trying to branch out and get video too. It's not working. You know, just like them, not working. How old were you when you started drinking?
21.
Sounds like a bullshit answer.
It's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Why 21? Why'd you wait so long?
Because I just didn't have an interest in it. My dad drank a lot, and I was like, ew, no.
Maybe the ick wasn't doing it.
Yeah, and that's why I started just drinking like a bunch of vodka sodas, and then that's why I can't drink vodka anymore. Because I started going out to like, could finally like go to shows and drink,
Yeah.
and so I was like, I don't know what to order. So
Yeah.
it just
Oh,
was
okay,
the
so you just
easiest
stuck with
thing.
that.
I think if I smell vodka, I will want to puke.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I've been there. There's certain alcohols where I'm just like, oh god, jeez, that reminds me of bad shit that I also forgot.
Yeah.
Well, I started drinking when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 20 years old, there was this salon that opened in Arroyo Grande, and they had a open bar back here, and there was PBR. I mean, back there, rather. And Poncho and the Wizards played, local show. So I got to sit there and drink underage beers at this salon. It was super fucking cool.
I can't imagine what this kind of establishment would do that to you.
I mean, it's in the past, and it's so trivial, and it's not something that happens often or will likely ever happen again, but it was a good time. And I really was not interested in drinking. I didn't smoke weed till I was probably 23 years old. I didn't ever want to do drugs. I was very straight-laced in that respect. And I think that's why I like kind of bordered the reality of like, oh, I'm not going to go do sports. Dumb. But I was also like, well, I'm going to go do something fun. Maybe shows or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean...
It was a boring dichotomy.
Sometimes I don't like telling people that because then they feel like maybe I'm judging them, but...
Oh, really? Fuck those people. So
yeah,
stupid.
Like...
If you could judge me because you drank 3 years later than me, you're lame as hell and probably not going to be asked to be on podcasts.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. People can do whatever they want. They can do all the drugs
what
they
do you
want.
judge people
and
on? What's a no-go for you? What's like crossing the line, red flag, fuck these people?
Don't be mean to old people and don't be rude to like people who are giving you a service. Food,
like customer service and hospitality
anything like
people.
that.
Yeah.
That's
crossing the line.
That's terrible.
It's inexcusable. It's unforgivable. You have to be fucking up pretty well at your job for me to ever say something or like be rude to that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. Hairstylists, I'm sure people being rude to them. Fuck those people, right? I think there's a lot of people who don't kind of wake up and smell their own bullshit.
Yeah.
And they're not in touch with that. And that's like kind of big, egregious lack of self-awareness. That's something I is like the biggest, like, I don't stand for.
Yeah.
I try to be pretty self-aware, and sometimes it puts me in compromising and embarrassing, times in my life because it's like, oh, fuck. I got to witness why I suck right now. And that's not fun, but I think it always leads people to a better place.
I wonder if it's like ignorance is bliss and the people who aren't self-aware, are they...
Like they're happier. Are
Yeah.
they happier? I always wonder that too. Like, what the fuck? Like, are you seriously just so much better off because you're dumber than me?
Yeah.
Or dumber than the rest of us? I hate that. But also I want to know.
Yeah.
How good does that feel? That's something that I always thought when I was growing up is like, these people don't even know the propaganda that they're being fed. And they're just like straight A students and they're just going to college and they think that's the route and they're so happy and they're popular in sports. And I'm just like, fuck, what's it like to be stupid? Are you happy over there? I wanted that. Part of me wanted to know, like, if I could just get like a couple brain cells like shot the hell out of me, I could do this. I could do life. I could do the career. I could have the job, maybe the house. You ever see people you went to school with and you're like, how the fuck do you do so well? You were a goddamn phoebe when we were growing up.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
What the hell is that
Yeah.
about? I think I bring that up on almost every podcast. I swear. I'm just like, there's nothing more frustrating than when dipshit Danielle is like kicking ass at life. You're like, no, you don't get to be happy. Why are you happy? What the hell is this shit? No. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? Where it's like, no, you did it. You went too far. You did what I thought I was going to do. Come on. I like punk rock. I'm better than you. Don't you know? That's kind of how I feel.
So in True Detective, Matthew McConaughey's character, which one do you think is better? Him when he's like the excellent detective, or the Lone Star mustache, long-haired version?
God, I don't know, because he gets to fuck Michelle Monaghan when he's the good detective, and there's nothing...
It's nothing better than that.
Nothing better than that. I had a crush on her before that show ever came out, so I was pretty stoked on that. But what about Woody Harrelson gets to have a side piece with was it Alexandria Daddario?
Is that her name?
The stripper? Yeah. Jesus. I don't know, man. They both got it going on. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Probably the long-haired, mustachioed, drinking beer in the interview, so it invalidates all of the interview he has, and it's inadmissible. That's way more clever and like arrived at a healthy place. You ever see people who are like, maybe 40, like 45, 50, and they're still wearing something or still have like facial hair or long hair, and you're like, do you not have any friends, dude? You look awful. What are you doing? You're looking around like, you need a friend, dude. That shit's disgusting. I saw someone with sideburns today. Mm-hmm. Every time I went to go get my hair cut at a salon, the first thing they did was shave my sideburns. And I would get so pissed when I was a kid because I was like a teenager and I had sideburns. And I was like, come on, I want a sideburns, And I was just like, I never told them, and they fucked my world up. Little did I know, little inexperienced, naive Dallas did not know, these bitches were doing me a favor. It was such a better look. I saw an old picture, like someone liked like a 10-year-old picture on my Instagram because they found the right hashtag, I guess, to find it. And I had like little like barely baby pube sideburns. I'm so glad those are gone. That's the first thing I do when I shave, just get rid of the sideburns. You need that kind of wisdom in life, Yeah. He may have had the long hair and the mustache, but like that was just for the show. And he still had that precedence of reality.
Yeah.
It's gotta be long hair, Matthew McConaughey. Even though he is a fucking stud god hottie when he in the 90s.
Yeah.
Stupid. God, I wish I could be that lean. Who the fuck does that? He's so cool. Call him the tax man, carries that like big binder around.
Yep.
Dude, love that. I love that. He's like a nerd, but he's like hot. Hooks up with his partner's wife because his dumb partner is cheating on his wife. Who cheats on Michelle Monaghan? What the fuck is that about?
Yeah, who does that?
Well, I'll tell you who. Someone who finds Alexandria Daddario, because those blue eyes and big boobs are pretty friggin' striking, right? You're like, whoops. Also, I have no idea what it's like to be married and have a mother of my children. That might be the worst goddamn thing in the world, and a stripper might be the answer to all your issues back then.
What?
I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. It might. Can't wait for that to come back and bite me in the pussy.
Someone's gonna clip that statement, and your life is over.
Oh no, I don't get to look like a greaser anymore. What am I gonna do? Oh no, my almost video podcast is over.
You're never gonna day in this town.
You know what? That's one of my biggest fears is being single and then like having to be like on Tinder and being like host of the Bad Etiquette podcast. Like instant incel, immediate incel. That's not going to be good.
That's horrible.
Red nose.
Pretty terrible.
Who's this guy? Where'd you meet this guy you're seeing?
We're not talking about that.
Okay, that's fine with me. That's why I asked beforehand.
Yeah.
Didn't have to fucking break that in 3 hours in. That's why I asked beforehand. All right, fair enough.
Do you love
it looks
him?
great. I mean, I like what he did with your hair.
Oh, he's not the one that did it.
It's
another guy.
Oh, it's another guy. Oh, is it the stud that was at the birthday party? Yeah, dude, he's so sexy. He's so hot. He looks so cool. I was like, I like this guy. He like dressed cool. Oh, you're blushing. You cover your face with your jacket, you fucking dork. Yeah, no, he's a stud. He's nice. He's sexy.
So dumb.
It's me or him?
You.
Oh, definitely. He had like cool tattoos and everything. I was like, damn, dude, fucking you rock this world. Hell yeah, good for you. Like life is your oyster. Slurp it or whatever. You know what I mean? You both were dressed way too cool to be there.
No.
Yeah! I was so mad. I was like, it's the dog's birthday party, right? Not your fashion show.
I was literally sweating and wearing jeans and a white shirt. I know. Dude,
you were wearing a white shirt. I don't remember, but I know I was wearing a black shirt because all I do is wear Carhartt shirts now. And they're thick and baggy and I sweat like a whore in church now. It's brutal.
No, you guys are being way too cool. You were sitting at your like cool table, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Oh, I know. Well, that's what happens when you show up late.
I'm sorry.
You should be. I was like, we gotta backpedal for ladies over here. Freaking these Riris who are tardy. No, I definitely was like, oh my God, I feel so bad because like they look like they're out for like a night on the town and they're at a dog's birthday party.
No,
I wanted to
loved
like
it.
lend myself and like, hey, it's okay. You look great. Life's great. What's up, dude? How you doing? Nice tattoos. God.
Oh my God.
Whiskey's great. I don't know why I ever quit drinking whiskey. I was like a gin and tequila guy for the last year or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I just like was like, where was I? I had some whiskey and I think I just bought some Buffalo Trace actually.
Yeah.
So good.
Really good.
So fucking underrated. I
Yeah.
love that shit. It is so good. I really like that stuff. Buffalo Trace, anytime. Big fan. I'll do Buffalo Trace and Coca-Cola now.
Yeah.
Like at a bar, I'm like, I think I'll do that. Or beer. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't even do gin anymore. Gin was making me like kind of like icky feeling. But I also was like, give me some gin. I want to be sexy and skinny. But I would get gin and tonic, which has like sugar in it, and I was like,
Yeah.
why isn't it working?
Yeah, I can't really do gin. Tequila's pretty wild.
You like tequila though?
On occasion, I feel like I can just straight tequila just does not sit well.
Oh, not. So you're like a margarita person. You need like a cocktail with tequila.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Damn. I got to tell you, all I want to do is go to Bill's and drink now. This is horrible. Why'd you give me whiskey? Can't
You
do
love
that
it.
now. It is pretty nice. It's
Should
very
go to
nice.
Bill's.
Probably. Nah, it'd be a disaster. I got to drive all the way to Los Alamos. Got to go get some Pedialyte and just like chill. Oh, I got to go to In-N-Out is what I got to do.
You do have to go to In-N-Out.
You're a hard nut to crack. You know that?
Am I? I'm being very vulnerable to you.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like I feel like I'm not doing my job as a journalist.
What do you want to know?
It's a great question.
My favorite color has evolved from over the years from purple to black to blue to red, and now it's pink.
What's it like to be depressed?
It's pretty great.
Pretty great, actually. You thought you were interesting? Try thinking about killing yourself once a week. Every time a man walks into the salon, I'm like, this is the perfect moment. What's something different you want for yourself next year? This time next year?
Something different. I think I'd like to actually like do an extended kind of travel, like live somewhere for a couple months.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always talk about it and I just never have done it. I think that would be really fun.
Is there somewhere you have in mind?
I really like Mexico City. I think that it's
Yeah.
really, really fun.
The altitude's pretty crazy. They have some of the
It's
worst
pretty
traffic
wild.
in the world, too.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great architecture, cool art, too. Like, I think Mexico City's a interesting spot. I don't
Yeah.
think it's talked about enough. Especially, like, in relation to Mexico. Because, like, we're in California, so there's a lot of, like, I think, Mexican dialogue, you know, about, like, whether it's the border or, like, Tijuana or, like, you know, even, like, Oaxaca, like I was saying. Like, I think Mexico City is, like, a topic that could be explored more.
Right.
Or something, not that could be, there's just something I'd be interested in hearing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying like the public discourse is really avoiding Mexico City, and quite frankly, like as a white liberal, I don't think it's right. But you know,
Yeah. You should go there.
I would love to go there. That'd be great. I'm still terrified of Mexico.
Why?
I don't think I've ever in the last couple years now been anywhere without a gun, and I don't think I could do that.
Oh.
I wouldn't be very terrified.
Do you have a gun in your backpack right now?
Oh, I guess no. I don't have a gun with me. I have a BB gun in there for sure, though. Actually, no, there's a BB gun in there, but not a gun. Yeah, no. Yeah. So it scares me just because of what I've heard about the cartel. I know it's a huge country, and I'm probably not going to ever experience any of that.
Yeah.
But it's some pretty grim, crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I know that isn't representative as Mexico or Mexicans as a culture as a whole.
Right.
But it is a very terrifying component. And the insanity that is the CIA and DEA cooperation with cartels in drug trades is equally compromising in my confidence in traveling. So
yeah.
just got to be like, fuck it, let's go to Mexico City and get stuck in traffic and be out of breath a lot. There's some great MMA fighters out of Mexico City, and they have insane cardio because of it, because they train at such a high altitude. There's that fly again. Were you hearing about fighting and death and wanting to come, you little bastard?
Can you kill it already, or are you just going to keep talking about it?
Well, I'm more afraid of like what the compromise of he got. I thought he was going to get trapped in the glass. You son of a bitch. No, I don't want to hurt the dresser, the glass, what have you.
Just kill it.
I would love to. I've killed more flies today than any day of my life. I got to be honest with you. That salt gun was blasting these little bastards.
That seems really fun.
Yeah, honestly, it's really fun. It's like laser tag with like consequences of like, there's no flies bugging me now. Good consequences. What do you say? You want to wrap this up? You all done?
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up, sweetie. Any parting words? Any parting stories? Any questions you have for the host of this amazing bond?
Yeah, let's we can't just leave it like that.
That's fine with me too. Yeah.
Let me see your notebook.
Okay.
What other questions do you have for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. See if you can
I'm gonna flip it around on you.
No, it's okay. That's the first thing I've written in there that is remained in there.
Oh, you asked me all the questions.
I think I might have, and I also it's more of like a crutch, or more of like a something to fall back on, because I wanted a conversation that's organic and it kind of really like.
Yeah.
I think it can happen and does happen, and these are just like more of a fail-safe in case it's someone I'm uncomfortable with initially, or they're not comfortable. It's maybe some icebreakers, and also just some good questions to ask.
Yeah.
Sorry to be so transparent.
You're a Carhartt guy now?
I've been a Carhartt guy for a while. It's been pretty nice. This shirt, I don't know how I feel about it, because I feel like I look like a fucking greasy trucker in it. But also, it really is like I got it because I saw someone wearing it, and I was like, I think that'd be pretty fucking, I could make that work. That'd be sexy. Like, they looked good wearing it, so I was like, well, clearly I'll look good wearing it. You order something out of a catalog, and you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
It looks shittier on me. I knew it. That's kind of how I feel about this right now. I'm in a weird place fashion-wise. I don't know what to wear.
Why?
I don't know. Like, because like, I don't have like a subculture or like a identifier that I want to like lean towards or adorn myself with.
Right.
And then I also don't know I don't know what's sexy or not too. It's like, I want to look good, I was telling my friend today, I was like, you need to work out and just make your body like as good and as like lean and like strong and be the temple, and then you'll look good wearing anything.
Right.
'Cause I was talking about a Adidas tracksuit, and I was like, dude, if you're like shredded and fucking, strong, like you can make any tracksuit look good. And he's like, fuck that, I'm not wearing that dumb shit. And I was like, fair enough.
What about the velour tracksuits that say juicy on the butt?
Hell yeah. I have a back injury right now, and at work I've had to do lunges a lot and like squatting and lunges a lot, and it brought my like butt back, which is so nice. Fucking honestly, part of the reason I got these jeans too is because like the pockets are like riding high, and it's like they're good butt jeans. Hell yeah, but they're still not where I want them to be. You know what I mean? They're still new.
I I feel like I've learned a lot about you.
I apologize. I really wanted to learn more about you. This is the point of the podcast. Maybe it's bad etiquette to just talk over someone and overshare while they sit there in obscurity. Damn it! Did it to me again.
You ready to go get in and out?
Dude, I'm so ready. Actually, that sounds great. All right.
All right.
Thank you for doing this podcast. You're welcome back anytime. I'd love to do another one anytime, and it'll be vodka, not whiskey, actually.
I will not be attending.
Damn it. I'll drink the vodka. I'll bring you some tequila or whiskey. It'll be a good time.
Perfect.
Ruby Villalobos,
Correct.
thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Dallas Guy Bronson.
This has been the Bad Etiquette Podcast. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Till next time.
See ya.